Good evening, everyone. Welcome to round 5, the final race of round 5 of the RSF1 season. I'm Primus Gaming, and joined with me is Master Krog.
So good evening, everyone. Welcome to Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya in Spain for round 5, as Primus said. So hopefully we've got another action-packed race this week, as we always usually do have in the F3 division. So I can't wait to get on with it. I don't know about you.
Oh, I'm excited because RSF1 has brought in some interesting races for Spain. F2 had a very intense race at the end of from beginning to end, because it was a battle between a few cars. I was between Magic Marks, Roberts, and one of the Williams. It was Skunk Burner, but then Skunk Burner crashed in the end. I was watching that on stream, and literally these lot had me panicking on the edge of my seat with Bodder. And I didn't really get to watch F1's race because I was out, but who won on the F1's race?
I believe it was Unity won yet again, so that's his second win of the season, I believe. He had a cracking battle with both the Williams. So that's always good to see, and always good to see good battles going on across all leagues, which is something that RSF1 is doing surprisingly well at the minute.
And F4 delivered a nail-biting race with 2 safety cars, and the race results for F4, yeah, that was intense.
So it does exist then?
It does exist. It
I
came
didn't
out
think it was in this game.
F4.
I thought this game was missing the safety car, so yeah, that's a first.
It got brought out twice, and the results for the race was Timmer winning in F4. It was his first race win in F4, followed by Tomo and then Alco Saints in third. So all that's left to wrap up round 5 is the F3 lot today, and I'll tell you what, it's really hard to say who's going to be in real contention for the win, because everyone's practiced hard. I've done a few practice races with some of them, and tell you what, they're pretty good. And wait a minute, am I right in seeing this? But Flaming's got the wets on.
Flaming on mine hasn't gone out yet. Let's just have a quick.
Oh no, he has. Fitted, I mean, like, yeah, he's in the pit.
Right.
Yeah, he's got them fitted.
He has fitted the wets. So surely he won't be going out on those, but it wouldn't be the first time. And Angafist has fitted the Inters.
Interesting.
So unless Force India tell us we're looking at a wet and intermediate race, who knows?
Actually, that's a good point.
But then surely you wouldn't be able to test the setup because it's a dry qualifying one.
So I have a question for anyone that's able to provide some information in the paddocks, if it's going to be possibly wet. Obviously, if you can't, don't worry about it. Anyway, so we're on board with Cross Kerry in the Williams, who's just going over the hairpin in the third sector. Can he get a good run into the right-hander? He looks like he can get a decent run in the hander. There you go. And now through the chicane. Can he get... Yeah, that looks kind of nice for the chicane. He's on the hard tyres, so he's not actually putting in a lap. And... well, it is an lap,
on the hards.
He's that's actually really good. But that's
not bad for F3 on the hards. That's quite a quick lap. I'd say actually I'd say it's around 2 or 3 tenths off what you'd be looking at for the hards. So he's only a second off Porter,
who was on the soft compound tyre.
So yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that one. But then surely you have no benefit from running the hards in Q1. But who knows? Maybe they know something we don't.
It might just be him testing, you know, because what I've seen lately in RSF1, even when I was absent, was that sometimes they run the hard compound tyre just to get a feel, because, you know, if the strategies work out well, they won't need to go on this compound because of the amount of safety cars that happened in F4. I actually had to go on to previously used tyres.
Yes,
and that was
that
very
is a
scary.
problem. That is always a kicker.
So hopefully there won't be that sort of instant, because also my radio broke, because I wanted to go for a soft compound finish in my race, and basically every time I clicked the radio button, the game kept on saying that like I could either pick my old strategy or the new one, and every time I picked one and tried to go and use my race engine, it continued to say no, like it just won't let me. So that annoyed me, but I have to give a shout out to Braver Container for a really good... Oh, Flaming's retired from the session, so it's a Flaming is out of qualifying 1 already, and there's still 12 minutes to go of the session.
Q2, and that's in Sector 2, that is just interesting. I'm trying to find out where that is.
If it says terminal damage on the race director, then he's crashed. Braver Container
yeah, terminal damage.
Has set a
so I'm guessing that's going onto the back straight.
He crashed.
He's dipped a wheel in that
maybe
infamous sand trap, and that's curtains. So Flaming,
Flaming's gone. Oh, Bodder, 1:19.6. I know it's Q1. The laps will be faster, but that's a good lap from Bodder in the McLaren. And yeah, to round up what I was saying, Braver has a shout out from me for being a really good race engineer, and you know, he did really good, even though it was a really pressurising race. I got yellow flags in the 3rd sector, but Bodder, Top Notch and Falcon Legends coming out of nowhere with some good laps. 1:19.7 from Top Notch in the Haas, and Falcon Legends have got 1. Oh yeah, I only just realised that.
Very close between Bodder and Top Notch.
And Camo is out on the hard compound tyres as well. He's testing the waters, so let's see how Camo does. Camo gets P6 on the hard compound with a 1:20.7, so I'll tell you what, the hard compound tyres are looking pretty decent today.
I mean, they're a lot better this game than they have been in previous years. You can actually use them. But race-wise, I wouldn't rule them out, because round here it's a tough strategy. Tyre wear is quite high, so it wouldn't surprise me if we see quite a few people running mediums and then switching to that harder compound, or if those that aren't lucky enough to make it to Q3, you can see them starting the race will come an hour's time.
Well, it's... Oh, Jay Slee, a 1:18.9. Holy... Where the hell did that come from?
That's the times I was kind of expecting to see on the softs. High
time
18s,
trial
low 19s. Yeah. That's a very good
drive
from JS. Very good lap.
So it's going to be interesting, because there's one thing in RSF1 is that the championships may say who's in the lead and all that, but every driver has their good ground and their bad ground. So, for example, I thought, you know, that people like Roberts and all that in other leagues, you know, because I played with them in the socials, and he pretty much dominated most of the races. And Bodder as well. When Bodder and Moronix were racing in socials, it was literally neck and neck between the two of them. But it just goes to show that every driver has their good place and their bad place. Oh, Bodder crashing into the pit wall. Oh,
wow, that's a new
corner.
One.
Yeah, Bodder.
So that's coming off the chicane. So he's come off the chicane, ran it high on the curb, and just the rear's overtaken the front, and he's met that inside wall. So, I mean, Bodder's got a time in. I wouldn't say Bodder would have to run again. I'd say Bodder could be safe, but I think that lap from JS Lee really has opened up everyone's eyes as to what the possibility is on the soft compounded tyre and whether people can get near that.
Well, DPS Racing, Old Mancy and Moronix are on their outlaps. I will let you do a onboard with DPS Racing as he goes through the track.
Should we save that? Should we save that for later on? Save that. Should we save that for a Q3?
We'll say that for Q3. Yeah, we'll say that for Q3.
Keep
We'll
everyone wanting more.
We'll give DPS Racing some screen time, though. You know, we'll stay on board with him.
Yeah, of course. So one thing to bear in mind is, of course, the stewards report, which nearly caught us out last week. So Rise, who isn't here this week, so that's irrelevant. And yeah, and we're good. So it was just Rise that has a 10-second penalty. It'll be added onto his time at the end of this. Yeah, Reese.
Oh, Reese! Oh,
sorry,
yeah, the Red Bull.
I do apologise. Butchered the name there.
Nah, it's alright. Well, it looks like Dufferlump has gone into P3 with a 1:19.5, so a good lap there from Dufferlump. Quick little thing for us to discuss with you, and this is going to be good for everyone else. Recently, the design for the 2021 car has been leaked. What do you think? Oh, DPS losing it a little bit after the hairpin. What do you think about the design of the 2021 cars?
Personally, I absolutely love it. I think it looks amazing. It looks the cutting edge of motorsport that F1 should be, and I think Formula 1 definitely got caught out last year when Formula E released their new car. The new car, it looked futuristic. It looked up there. It looked like a proper spaceship. It was a brilliant looking car. And I'm not saying that these current generation of F1 cars look old, but I think they're somewhat starting to look somewhat dated, and I think the new 2021 regulations really hark in on that need for closer racing, for less downforce. I mean, there's talks of the car being the car following experiencing up to 10% in downforce loss, which is mad, considering that these current gen cars, if you're following another car, they can lose up to 50% of their downforce. Which I didn't know. That caught me off guard, that one. So I think the car, it looks fantastic. Whether that is the finalised build, we will see. But of course, you've got the 18-inch rims as well, which look fantastic, I must say. It's about time F1 up the rim sizes.
Well, if I was to give my opinion on the 2021 car, I agree with you. It looks phenomenal. But it almost has sort of a retro sort of look to it. So when I look at it, it's a touch of the modernisation with the halo and, you know, some of the features of the car. But the body shape almost gives me sort of like you know, completely prove me if I'm wrong. You know, it's just my opinion. It just makes me think of the older, like maybe the 2000 and sort of 4-ish to 6 cars, because, you know, their shapes were completely unique. And, like, you know, that sort of era, so that sort of time, and the way it looks, it just has a slight retro feel to it.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree. When I first saw it, I said to a friend of mine, it looks exactly like the old Williams, the FW15C, the one with the active suspension. Just the whole body shape of the car, it looks fantastic.
And I absolutely cannot wait to the 2021 season, but obviously that's 2 years from now. It's 2019.
Can we just skip next
we've got to do our best. Oh, 40. Yeah, can we just skip 2020?
Let's scrub that off. I mean,
it never happened.
Yeah, no. I think this year the racing seriously improved as well, and we've seen.
Oh, there's still improvements that's been made to the sport. Definitely.
Oh, definitely. So, and I think we're going to start to see next year a more closer field, maybe. I touch wood and I hope that. Ferrari I've heard got to win a race this year.
Yeah, they haven't won a single one.
That's a big one for Ferrari going into the last 6 races. But I think you look at the next 2 tracks on the calendar, you've got
Spa and Monza.
Correct. Moronix puts in 18.7. 2/10 quicker than JSL, so championship leader there, showing why he's at the top. Moronix, of course, sitting on 67 points. His next closest challenger, amazingly, is Bodder in the McLaren with only 36 points. So Moronix already has crucial 25-point cushion over his next championship rival. That's quite insane when you consider how close the racing's been this year.
I agree with you. And you know, in RSF1, anyone can come out from anywhere. So Moronics may seem strong for the moment, but you never know. Angerfist might have a chance of winning the race today, or maybe even Element Snow. You absolutely cannot tell, and that's what I love about league racing. Because if at real F1, you know, you got the power difference. You know, oh, it could be a Merc, might be a Red Bull, Ferrari, maybe. You know, if they don't absolutely ruin their strategies or have problems with other cars. And I'm just thinking, you know, with league racing, it's amazing. Speaking of Angerfist, second place with a 1:18.799. So not basically nearly half a tenth away from Moronics. And league racing, all in general, you cannot put a flag on one driver. Every race is different, and that's what makes me happy to sit in this commentary box and just watch everyone at work.
Yeah, it's always the beauty. That's the beauty of the beast, though, with league racing. It could be anyone's race at any track, but quite often you do tend to see certain drivers tend to pull away. Like Unity in the F1 division, he's starting to put quite a dominant hand on the Championship Challenger title. But I think, as you quite rightly said there, it's anyone's game, and you don't know what's going to happen. You could have rain, you could have a safety car, anything can happen, and that's the beauty of the sport, really.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And before we carry on with some more topics to keep everyone entertained to Q2 and Q3, it is only 1 minute and 20 seconds left of the session. He may be out of the session, but if Element Snow doesn't set a lap, he will be out. And so
he's
if
currently
Element
on
Snow
an out lap.
If he can set a lap before, like, at least better, well, just any lap, it doesn't matter what time he sets. He could set a 2 minutes for all we care. He has to do a lap time to get ahead of Flaming. If he doesn't, Element Snow loses his only opportunity to get into Q2. And I'd say if Element Snow does get knocked out in Q1, that would be rather humiliating to be beaten by a car that's out and not set a time.
So he'd still have to set a competitive time, because of course we lose the slowest two.
No, so it would lose only one, because there's only a handful of cars. It might be two. It'll be 1 or 2 cars. But I remember before when we had about this amount, it'd lose 1, maybe at the minimum.
Because it's 15 that go through to Q2. So Flaming's out.
I agree.
Elemental Snow needs this lap. So this will put him through. So the likes of Odder, Porter and Duffel are all safe.
Right now, Camo is on a lap. He's getting in his personal best. If Camo can get a good lap, it will put Braver Container in the danger area. You know, he will be the driver in danger, but it looks like Camo's struggling a little bit. Element Snow is catching up, and there's a traffic of DPS Racing, who looks like he's conceded. Well, he's had a lap and he's now taking us in. Cross Kerry also trying to make sure he extends his way into Q2. Can they do it?
So Elemental Snow coming up to the second sector break now. It's the 52 dead for the second sector. First and second sector combined, and a slight stap of oversteer coming over that bump left hander.
Camo's going in.
Corner to get right. So Camo has abandoned.
He's not going to make it through to Q2 if Element Snow can set a new lap. Cross Carry, the fastest lap. 1:18.3. Can Element Snow get out of the danger area? No, he can't. RSF1 Flaming and Element Snow are out of the session.
So how is Element Snow?
He invalidated the lap.
Camo hasn't.
Element invalidated his lap, so he is out with Flaming.
Yeah, wow. Okay. That's the risk in playing that strategy, leaving it to the end and giving yourself 1 lap. That is a very risky thing to do.
I like to go up twice, you know, one at the beginning and then one at the end, because that's what everyone does. It's simple. If you want to risk it, you can risk it. As you can see today, it has not worked out for Element Snow. He has been knocked out of Q1 alongside Flaming.
there we have it then. We have our 15
Bad
challenges going
luck.
through into Q2. That is bad luck. But then, could you call it bad luck or could you call it a lack of preparation? Because leaving yourself one lap at the end of the session, it's a challenging thing to do.
Both.
A bit of both, definitely. And this is a tough track. You can track extend quite easily here. So another interesting thing to point out is Camo set that lap on hards. So he saved himself a set of soft compound tyres going into Q2. So
he might be in a party with Element, because they're good mates. And he probably heard Element maybe invalidated the lap and thought, I'm safe, and peeled in.
Could have been. Could have been. So, Q2 then. This is where we see, of course, what tyres the drivers are wanting to start their race on, whether they can set a quick enough lap
hard
on
compounds.
Really? To start on?
Definitely. Yeah, I will definitely. At least one car will be going on a hard compound tyre. I know for sure, because in this track, I have to say the soft compounds die really, really fast. And my prediction has come to light. Camo, Ted first, Camo, Old Mancy, Ted first, and Bodder have slapped on the hards. Cross Kerry has jumped on that train as well. I'm completely right. There will be people going on the softs, but in this track, a minimum you can get 5 laps out of the soft compound tyres at a push, maybe 7, 8 at tops. You cannot push them any further than that.
Yeah, I would have expected mediums, to be honest, instead of hards.
If you went for mediums, though, you'd have to go on a 2-stop.
No, you wouldn't. You can go mediums to hard.
You can do, but the hards will be quite worn, because you have to pit around the lap 13 mark with the hard compound tyres.
So are you saying then that people that have now gone out to do a lap on the hards are going to be 2-stopping?
Oh no, people on the hards can easily 1-stop, because you could take those hards to maybe lap 17, 18 or so, because when I would have been able to do that yesterday if it wasn't for a couple of safety cars and a couple of collisions in the race. But that's what I was hoping to do, and the hards actually feel really good around this track. So, you know, if you're really good at tyre conservation, you could make a 1-stop work easily of those hards to mediums. Oh, and 40 on his outlap caught a little bit of grass and on his mediums. You got to be careful there, 40. You don't want to ruin them. Right. I think Krog has quickly gone to do something, so it'll just be quickly me and you guys for the moment. So, Bodder is on the hard compound, so we've got, a good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars going on the hard compound tyre. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 medium compound runners. 2 cars are still on the soft, they haven't changed. In the chat, your name is just a bunch of jumbled letters on my screen. I can't believe I did that. Can you please tell me who you are so I can... I know who you mean. Was that Element Snow, maybe? Element Snow, yeah.
Right.
Unfortunately, Element, the gamble didn't work for you, buddy. But, you know, never fret, you know, remember sometimes you have a bad qualifying session, but you can make it count in the race, so all is not lost. Oh, and Bodder is struggling on his lap, on the hard compound tyres.
So that's what I'm trying to think. I can't understand why people are going for Q2 laps on hard compound. Because you can do a 1-stop starting on the medium.
You can do it.
Go medium to hard. It's possible. We'll see what happens. So 20 dead from Cross Kerry. That's 8/10 quicker than he set in Q1.
Than his actual, yeah, his quicker time than the Q1 lap, as you say, and and also looks like Ted first is not able to get a good amount of time in there. Braver Container of a 120.3 and Falcon Legends of a 119.8 on the mediums. So the medium tyres are good, but it just looks like it's a matter of skill at Falcon Legends. And 4D, Ferrari 1-2 currently in Q2 with a 119.8 and a 119.9. So I think Vettel is going to cheer on the Ferraris.
Yeah, I think, of course, you've got to remember back to Australia where the Ferraris were 1-2 in qualifying. And then it all went horribly wrong for them in the race.
It did. BBB4 said, did hard to medium in F4 yesterday. Comfortable.
Yep. So that confirms then people are thinking of doing the hards. So I think either strategy works. You're going to be doing roughly the same race time as someone else. If you're doing hard to mediums or mediums to hards, you'll just be a little quicker at the end to mediums. So everyone, only one soft compound tyre fitted at the minute, and that is of course on Dufferlamp. So we'll see if he comes out on the softs, but as we were just talking about, we think it's going to be a hard or a medium starting tyre for these guys, as that seems to be the preference of the session so far.
I have a quick question for you, Krog, and the streamers. Oh, it's not streamers, the people watching the stream. Please feel free to leave your opinion in the chat. So, from 2014 to now, we've seen some really good liveries. We've seen some good stuff made by the from the teams, like pre-season, and also, you know, their official seasoned like racing livery. If you had to pick a livery, you know, if you had the ability to slap them onto like make an official team with the old liveries, what would you go for? So it can be any team from 2014 to 2019.
That's a good question.
Any livery. Because I have mine already.
Go on, you tell me yours then, and I'll see if we're close.
2016 McLaren. That was amazing. 19.1.
That's a quick lap. That's 7/10 faster than we've seen on the mediums so far.
For me, the McLaren Honda, when it first went into the sport, they may have not had a good car in terms of the power.
What, the black and red one?
Beautiful livery. Yeah, the 2015 one. So it was mostly like a black sort of colour. In 2015, it had the red on it, you know, which almost kind of looked like the old sort of West livery they had, like, you know, the old early 2000s sort of colours. But it was almost mostly black. It was mostly pure black, and I loved the design of the car. Obviously, it was a terrible car in terms of power compared to everyone else, but
I think it was a terrible car compared to anything else as well. It was awful.
It was very bad, and so what would you say? Oh yeah, Element is not wrong. If I could go earlier, I would pick Jaguar, but obviously from 2014 to 2019,
was gorgeous. That lovely British racing green on the lovely.
Did you know?
Far away.
Oh, gone. Jaguar actually had diamonds in the front wing, and one time in a race, a Jaguar crash happened. The diamond fell out the nose, you know, the front wing, and one of the people on track, is it the you know, the officials that pick up all the marshals? That's it. One of the marshals took the diamond, and obviously because it was very expensive, Jaguar stopped doing that. But Jaguar did that as like a little special thing for their cars, because, you know, they had plenty of money. They were sponsored by stuff like HSBC and HP and all that. They had loads of good different sponsors, and they had a good amount of money. But they had diamonds in the front wing, and yeah, when it got stolen, they kind of
you're not going to want to be sending them out every weekend with a couple £1,000 worth of front wing, especially at the rate that they go through front wings nowadays.
Anyways, what would you say a livery from 2014 to now? What would you say would you put on a car?
I would, if for me, I think. Can you remember the camo bull livery they did on the Red Bull?
Oh yeah, the blue camo,
the black and white one, or the red one that we saw for this year at testing when they did the shakedown at Silverstone. That was a gorgeous livery. I like that one, but I think it would be between the red camo bull livery and the current McLaren livery. So I think the current McLaren livery is fantastic. Not because that's my team in F1, but it's just a brilliant livery. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
It was gorgeous, and it was also to say the same for the old blue, white, and black one. That was sexy. That was a sexy livery for a car.
Indeed.
Let's have a look through the messages. Yeah, 007 Red Bull. That was quite nice.
Is that the one from Silverstone DPS?
Yeah, recently. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was lucky enough to see that one up close, and that was. I like the number plate on the back of the rear wing.
Yeah.
there was a lot of buzz around that car when it was announced at Silverstone. Yeah, that was a good look. Literally only a 007 livery slapped on the I've forgotten the name of it. One of the winglets, and the number plate popped on the back, but it looked good.
Yeah,
it
that was on
attracted
the
attention
that was
of
on
everyone
the
at
wing.
Silverstone.
The DRS sort of flap for the car.
Yes,
It was on the back.
on the back. It was indeed. No, that was a nice little shout out. Of course, Daniel Craig on the grid at Silverstone as well. So
Shrimper, I have to agree with Shrimper. The old Jordan livery. Oh, that was amazing.
yeah, it seems to be a thing that we went through a stage, especially 2013 through to 15, 16, where liveries were a bit naff. The field was either red, grey, or white, and that was it. I think the liveries this year are better. I still think some could do with some work. God, RSF1. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what the liveries are for next year. I'm not expecting too much of a change.
I missed liveries like, the old Arrows livery, so it was orange and black.
Yeah.
I
that
liked
was
the
a
look of
good
the
one.
Arrows cars. Minardi, actually, surprisingly. Part of me really wishes that teams like Minardi stayed around, but obviously when Red Bull got their own team, they bought Minardi out to become Toro Rosso, that we know today.
Yeah, so Red Bull actually have roots in Minardi and Jaguar. So if you think about it, pretty much that dominating Red Bull that we saw a couple of years back has some old Minardi blood in its system somewhere, which was probably the worst car we'd ever seen, according to Alonso anyway. But
Lotus was really nice as well. I know they sort of kept the same livery for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, but when it first came, the Lotus livery, it was lovely. Caterham, actually. I liked Caterham.
Yeah, Caterham was well. Again, iconic British racing green, so that's a nice. It's nice to see the 90th anniversary livery on the Ferrari. Speaking of liveries, it's nice to see that nice. Made it into the game. So hats off to Code Masters.
I feel so old. Talking about Minardi and Arrows and all the old teams, BAR, Renault, especially in its heyday. Oh, it makes me wish, we could just go back to those days properly so you could see those cars more. 2006
Renault, that was another good one. That was another favourite of mine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Alonso's championship winning cars. So back to the session quickly. JS has set a lap on. He's got softs fitted, so he's thinking of going again. So just I wouldn't think he needs to. But there we go. Then.
He could go for it. But he needs the good finish in Q3. If he doesn't get a good finish, it's going to be completely pointless. Oh, Krog?
Yeah, no, I'm still here. It's just my mic is playing up this evening, so I will in and out all over the place.
Yeah, lagging a tiny bit there, Krog. Sorry. Krog is having a little bit of trouble with his mic for a moment, so I will, until he sorts it, I'll just quickly go over the drivers in danger of being knocked out into knocked out in Q2. Is Duffalump, Bodder, DPS Racing, Mansi, and Camo. So both the Renault and both the McLaren, plus the Toro Rosso on top, they're in danger. And Braver Container is actually in danger of being knocked out. He has no time to set a lap.
I think Braver Containers counted his chickens before his eggs have hatched there. I think he won't be going through to Q3, sorry, unless I'm about to get a slight serving of humble pie. I expect Bodder to improve. I expect DPF to definitely improve. And Duffalump as well.
Oh! That's a car!
Right.
That's Camo!
What? Sorry?
Camo's crashed.
Where's that? Ah, he
crashed on
start
after the hairpin.
Sector 3. Yeah, that is
Camo
the start of Sector 3.
Q2.
So that's turn 11 he's crashed at. So Camo's out, which then leaves 4 other spaces to be decided as we head into the final part of this session. Keep an eye
Braver
on
won't
Bodder.
fall down as far as he thought. He won't fall down as far as he thinks, so... Oh, go on, sorry.
Bodder is, I believe, about to propel himself into Q3. Here we go then, but run up to the line, crosses the line, and
yes, he
goes
can.
second. Stellar lap, 1 lap medium,
Beautiful.
so that's a good lap from Bodder. Fiercely deciding not to go out again on the softs. Camo has retired. Was that on track or was that in the pit lane?
That'd probably be in the pits. He did limp back.
So DPS then, all pressure falls to him. So Porter's
And
been knocked
Duffer.
out. Yep, Dufferlump as well.
No, he can't do it. Dufferlump's out.
Dufferlump's
It's
aborted.
DPS Racing.
So this is to sneak through and not cross
Almost-
carry out. On the edge of the session, can he do it?
he
Yes,
do
he
it?
can.
Oh my god! What a
Cracking
lap!
laps from the McLaren boys. As I said, expected them to improve. And
Currently
Top
right
Notch
now,
instantly goes and beats it.
Oh,
So as it
Top-notch.
is in F1, we have a McLaren versus Haas battle here. So that's the battle that we're going to be expecting to see then, going all the way through the race and Q3. So there we have it then. So that sums up, unless Cross Kerry made it round to start a lap. I believe he did.
Cross Kerry and Angerfist are both on a banger of a lap. Looks like Cross Kerry is struggling a little bit, and Angerfist is just finding speed and grip on the soft tyres because, yeah, I think Angerfist just didn't want to risk being knocked out in Q2, so he's going to go for an aggressive finish on the... No, it's not an aggressive finish, aggressive start on the soft compact. No, he's going in!
So that was just a... Well, he doesn't need to set the time, so he stays on the medium. Cross Kerry smashes in a 19.1. That's some serious pace on the mediums there.
We might see a win here from Cross Kerry. He's. I think that's the second time today in the qualifying sessions he's taken provisional pole.
There we go then. So as I said earlier on, then your top 10 all start on medium tyres. So they're running the medium to hard strategy.
Oh yeah, they are.
No, yeah, JS Lee and Angerfist didn't set the laps, so everyone's starting on the mediums. We lose 5 drivers. Camo, of course, who was unlucky enough to meet the sand trap and the wall in Sector 3. He goes out. He'll start 15th. As we just wait for confirmation, then Kerry, of course, finishing in P1 in Q2. So he's one to watch going into Q3. So the 5 drivers we lose. We have lost Camo in the Renault, who, as I said earlier, met the wall in Q3. Dufferlump and Braver Container, starting P13 and 14 respectively. RSF1 Porter, so both Torossos not making it through to the pole position shootout. And Ted the First in the Mercedes takes that 11th position. Everyone starting on the mediums, so it's going to be a level playing field going into turn 1 off the start after the 5 red lights in just over 15 minutes time.
Obviously the rear cars will be going on to the hard compound tyres. A little bit of info from Dufferlump. He said, I'm literally fuming. I started my second lap and it was invalid. Basically he couldn't set another lap. Here is the nail-biting part of today for qualifying. So what we'll do is when a driver goes out, me and Krog will go in tandem. So for the start, I'll let Krog take it, and then when it comes near to the very end, I'll have a little look-see about who's going to be starting in what position. But yes, I think he's just quickly sorting out his microphone, maybe.
Nope, we're good. Don't worry.
Okay. So what we'll do is, for the start of the session, I'll let you do the onboards, and then when it gets near to the end, you know, when it's like the sum of the laps, I'll keep an eye on like Moronics and Cross Kerry and all that. You know, people we know who's going to be trying to fight for provisional pole. I'll have a little eye on them.
Yep. So here we go then. So Q3, the one where you're going to want to be putting in your best lap times. So this then, of course, decides the top 10 positions on the grid, who starts where. as we crack on with the race in just under 10 minutes time. So 10 minutes 50 left on the clock. So as we're going into Q3 then. So everyone seemingly straight out on the softs, which is what you'd expect to see. Q3 is underway. We've got Angerfist, we've got Foddy, we've got Old Mansley, Moronix and JS Lee all going out to set their first time on the soft compounded tyre. So
Jace Lee is starting his lap.
Who's your money on then?
My money. From seeing the pace of the qualifying pace of drivers, I know the fight is going to be, well, it's between 3 people. I know for sure: Bodder, Moronix, and Cross Kerry.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think Cross Kerry, Bodder, Moronix are the 3 to watch. We could see a surprise kick up. I hope we do, because that'll make it super interesting.
Falcon Legends might come out of nowhere.
Yeah, again, and Top Notch as well, you can't rule out. He's been up there on pace for the whole of the session.
I'll let you do an onboard with Bodder, because it looks like he is behind his teammate DPS Racing, who is probably giving him a little bit of tow, you know, a little bit of team strategy maybe, or, you know, it just might be that DPS is just in front of him. But
to pick it up,
anyways.
I mean, so here we go then. So it's quite a tough sequence of corners to start the lap. You want to maximise your run out of this chicane, and then you've got the hander of turn 16, and then run on to the long straight. So it's the longest straight on the circuit, the start-finish straight. DPS not quite close enough to give him a tow, so I don't know whether he'll jump, and he will jump out the way, so he's going to give him a tow. Down 4 gears into the right-hander of turn 1, flicking it quickly to the left of turn 2. Then you've got what I think is one of the best corners on the calendar, the long turn 3. Is it flat for Bodder? Oh, it's close enough to flat. And then coming into turn 4, where of course the Mercedes came together back in 2014. Long right-hander again, a lot of right-handers in that first sector. Down the hill into turn 5, off camber braking zone. You want to kiss that curb and then run it as wide as you can to maximise your run. Down the little straight, through the kink of 6, flick it up the hill, turn 7 and 8. Can take a lot of curb there and not really be that badly affected on lap time. Turn 9, hard corner to get right. Long right-hander again, flat out in this current generation of cars, onto the back straight, down 6 gears into turn 10, up to the left-hander of turn 11, and then flicking it straight into turn 12. Turn 13 comes at you pretty quickly. You've not got much time. Flick the car to the right, down 2 gears again into 14. Flick it over to turns 15, and then again you're on that long right-hander leading you onto the back straight. For turn 16, the run to the line isn't that long, and he crosses the line and goes second, 3/10 off Moronix.
So
the battle is definitely on then.
By Bodder.
From Bodder, but an even better lap from Moronix. So Bodder backs well off.
Yeah. And Moronix did a really good lap with a 118.2, followed by Bodder with a 118.5, JS Lee with a 118.7, Falcon Legends 118.8, Angerfist 119.1, Old Mansley with a 119.3, Fordy with a 119.6, Top Notch with a 121.2, which we know is not really that quick on the soft compound tyres, but DPS Racing and Cross Kerry are the only 2 cars to have not set lap times. I have a feeling they're going to wait until everyone's peeled in after their laps and then go on their own.
We'll wait until the very end of the session where you've got the most rubbered in circuit. That's another thing to think of.
Probably that as well.
So it's not all over yet. I expect I'd like a little bit more in the tank. I reckon he can get closer than 3.5 tenths off the top spot. DPS and Top Notch again, 2 drivers to watch out for. Cross Kerry as well. So this is definitely not over yet. Still a fair bit of running to go then. So we shall see who's in the mood to take top spot.
Bodder's going in. Top Notch might be going in, because he's stockpiling energy. He's in mode 0.
Has he got the fuel to go get it? Well, he's going to have an awful run into turn. No, he is stopping. He is going again. so there we have it then. So everyone in the pits as we wait.
DPS Racing is the only car on track.
Yep, so DPS is going to have a nice clean run. This is what, as you said, he would do. So get a nice clean run, the track to himself. So a prime bit of real estate.
Worn-in track as well, as you said. You know, it's been primed with the amount of rubber. You said it's like, you know, get worn in basically. Yeah,
the track is well rubbered in. Yeah, so the more running you'll have on a track, the quicker it will be. So it's referred to a green track when the teams first drive there at the weekend, as it's rain and other conditions will have washed the rubber off. So over the course of the weekend, you'd see times drop as teams set more and more times over the track, as you see more rubber laid down from the tyres. So Dufflump saying this buggy game is infuriating. So that's an interesting. I would agree with him. I think it is still pretty buggy, the multiplayer. But we'll race with what we've got.
Unfortunately, track limits is track limits, I'm afraid.
Yeah, but round this track especially, it differs from time trial to multiplayer. Because in time trial, you can lop last corner of the chicane. You can cut that quite a bit. Extremely strict, and same this corner as well, which we're seeing DPS come up to. You can actually still have a wheel on the track and be penalised for that one. So I can understand where he's coming from. It can be quite annoying because it changes session to session. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, I'm afraid, and everyone struggles with it. So DPS here looking like a pretty respected lap. So we'll see where this slots him in. 3 minutes left in the session. Not expecting any other cars on track. Oh, and he's round. Oh! DPS is round. He rode the curve. Turns 12. He's rode the curve, and it's cost him. So he will have spun the car. That will have ruined his tyres and his lap. So he hasn't got time to stop and go again.
He can. If he gets in and goes out immediately, he'll be able to set a lap. But that was horrible for him.
1 minute 40. 1 minute. It's going to be close. They need to get in and out in less than 30 seconds for him to stand a chance of getting round again.
That is unlucky for DPS Racing.
You can't ride that curb. So you can't ride that curb. It will spin the car. It's a harsh curb. So Dufflump didn't go off track. I got invalidated next lap on my out lap in the second sector. So he's cut a corner somewhere.
Okay.
So probably down at that last chicane.
Top Notch is not pleased with that 121.2. He is back out to try and see if he can get anywhere near his teammate or Bodder, because right now the top three is Moronix, Bodder and Jay Slee. But do keep in mind, Cross Kerry has not come out. He doesn't have much time. If Cross Kerry can get out before the 1 minute sort of 20 mark, 30 mark, he will just be able to set a lap.
Push. Because it takes around 30 seconds to get the car out. I think they're all everyone's risking it. They're leaving it very late to go out.
Moronix has gone out. So
Top Notch was 600ths off his teammate as he came through the sector beam into Q2. Oh, so he's lost quite a lot of time then in that last sec.
I think that might have been invalid. No, it wasn't. No, he did.
No,
yeah,
he went. He's gone
fastest.
through. He's lost it. He's lost a good bit of time in that last sector though. Usually only get invalidated next lap in the last few corners. I wasn't even in the third sector. Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, Cross Kerry is coming out. He has he has to get to the line soon, otherwise he won't be able to start.
It's gonna be close. I mean, they've left it very. So Falcons isn't going again. Cross Kerry, you cannot hang around, mate.
Falcon lagged out.
He needs to
go back.
This is the thing. If you get caught, if you get flagged on your outlap, Cross Kerry has to get a wriggle on here, else he's not even going to make the line. Is he the last? He will be the last car to cross the line. I believe. Yes, he will.
Yeah,
he's the last one back. DPS
it's
out as well.
going to be close. 1 minute remains of the session. So here is where it's going to be crucial. So Moronix is going through turn 3. Well, turns 3 to, I think this is turn 4 now. So can he get a good run into turn 4? Yes, he can. That's a nice little... That's a run. Can he get a good exit? So now through to turn 5. This is turn 5, correct? There you are. Out
Here we go.
of turn 5.
Are you backing off again to try and create a gap?
Oh,
Shit,
and he
will
loses
make
a
it.
tiny bit.
Here you go then. Cross carry's going to cross the line with about 5 to 10 seconds left. So very well timed from him. There we go then.
I'm going to be doing some
10
crofty
seconds to
shouting
go.
now because it is going to be tough. So Moronix, the session is over. If you are in the pit, which is Falcon Legend, and Oldmancy, you cannot improve your time. Moronix now through the hairpin, gets a bad run through the hairpin.
He's gone
and the
very
last
wide,
corner,
Moronix. He's aborted.
Moronix has
aborts.
not done it. This is risky because this could get
event.
Bodder in.
So it all depends on how Bodder's lap's going. Here we go then. Coming. Oh, and he's a little bit out of shape, but he keeps it nice and firmly on the track. Bodder coming round now. Second sector split should be anywhere down here. I believe it's just at the end as we go under this bridge. So Bodder needs... he's a 10th. Bodder a 10th off. So at the minute, Moronix still the guy on pole, the guy to beat. How are we looking for Cross Carry? Cross Carry as well, another guy to keep an eye on.
And
so here we go
Jace Lee
then.
comes round the last corner. Jace Lee comes across to set. A 118.4, not enough
He's
for
jumped
provisional
Bodder.
pole.
Bodder
coming
should
round the
jump
last
him.
corner. Bodder keeps third
aborted.
place.
He lifted.
DPS
He
Racing,
lifted and turned to the right.
119.7. And Cross Carry. Cross Carry gets third.
Wow. So Bodder actually lifted at the line.
He did.
He lifted and turned to the right. Did he run out of fuel?
I said Connor, not corner. The last Connor. John Connor.
So, that's close. 2 tenths separating. Well, call it 3.5 tenths separating the top 4.
So going through
Both
the top
Williams
10
in the
drivers.
battle.
Moronix
Go
on
for
provisional pole in the Haas with a 118.2, followed by the 2 Williams of Jace Lee and Cross Carry in second and third place. Bodder 4th, Falcon Legend 5th, Old Mancy recovering well from his team's sort of horrible start to the race. Top Notch, Anger 40 and DPS Racing. So McLaren is having a bit of a bumpy start to the Spanish Grand Prix, but do remember qualifying pace is completely different to race pace.
DPS actually not managing to improve on that lap that he didn't manage to set. So DPS still starts in P10, which I'm sure he's not that pleased about. So,
I just got fly guts on my hand. I just killed a fly and it's left in a bit of a mess in my wardrobe door.
lovely. So I always take off and go for this, the old sandal shout.
Well,
the sandal does the trick.
Conveniently, well, after my my father passed away, we kept on getting flies getting in because he would suffer from the heat or the cold very easily. And we had flies coming because we'd have windows open and we had tissue boxes and they wouldn't work at all. You know, you'd wait till the fly stops, hit it with a tissue box, didn't work. My mum literally just gets a sandal or a flip-flop and she's like, watch this, and then whoosh, it's dead.
Yeah, that's the best mum strat, that is. 6 sandal or flip-flop. Gets the fly, gets the job done. So here we are then, waiting for the ready.
We need to watch out for, because Moronix is the host. So, you know, we'll keep a little vigilant eye out, you know, just in case anyone, you know, readies up before Moronix. Because we know that a part of the rules, you know, you have to wait until the host is ready. If anyone readies up before the host, well, if the first person who readies up before the host will be rewarded a penalty, which is Braver Container. Braver Container will be awarded a penalty for readying up before
penalty.
Moronix. Yeah,
so
that is a
standard
penalty.
10-second penalty there. So hopefully everyone's got a strategy loaded and have got their setups on, because that cost me heavy in China. So Braver Container will be getting a penalty for that then. So then,
That is a very...
Should we run through the grid order? Are we? Yeah, we are. I thought we were going straight into the race like we did in F1 in Baku. So if you'd like to run it... Oh, hello, what's going on?
Not everyone's ready.
Moronics.
Because Brave Container readied up before everyone was ready, it has caused mass problems on the grid. What the heck has happened?
That's fine. I mean, hopefully Moronics is back, but I don't understand why people leave between the start of a race and the formation lap. You shouldn't leave. No, you should be ready.
No, it's because obviously when the host readies up, it means the race can go. If anyone readies up, because that's a good moment to go to the toilet, get a drink, get yourself sorted.
But you shouldn't be doing that before the start of the race, is what I'm saying. You should be ready to go. I can understand the argument for it, but that's the way things go. So we're going to run through the grid. We'll do it in so every other car. So if you do even numbers, I'll do odds. So starting on pole is RSF1 Moronics. So he set the quickest time earlier on in Q3. So we'll see him start hopefully from the front if he's back in time. So JS, go on then. So let's run through it.
I don't think we've got time. They're all approaching the fast right hand, going to the hairpin. So I'll just quickly go over the rest of them. So we got JC second, Cross Carey third, Bodder fourth, Falcon Legend fifth, Mancy sixth, Top Notch seventh, Anger 8th, 49th, DPS Racing 10th, Ted First 11th, Porter 12th, Braver Container 13th, Dunferlump 14th, Camo 15th, Element Snow 17th because something's happened to a car in 16th place and it's out of the, they didn't get to join back. This is close because I don't know if Moronics or Falcon Legend
depends whether he
even
will have been disqualified from the formation lap. It's the fact of, is he here now for the start of the race?
Oh, this is going to be nerve-wracking. Everyone, please do your best.
And not only that, that means Cross Carey needs to be alert to maybe to jump out the way of Moronics. So here we go then, one lap.
And it's
we have five red lights.
And he's back, yes.
Moronics is there, but he's got a slow
gets
getaway.
A bad start. Jace Lee takes the lead.
Oh, that's chaos.
Oh, and there's been a crash already.
Oh, he's collected Ted the first. So Moronics' bad start has thrown him.
Session.
He got collected by Moronics' car. So championship leader then out before we even make it to turn one.
Oh my God!
Collected by old Mansley or Camo.
Incident. Jace Lee takes the lead, followed by Cross Carey. Yeah, and a safety car has been deployed.
So Moronics, I didn't really catch what happened. He got out of shape and then got clouted by a Renault, which put him round, and then Ted the First he just couldn't do anything, couldn't get out of the way.
Here's what happened. So basically, because of what happened, Porter's retired from the session. Because of Braver accidentally readying up, he probably went to go to the toilet or anything, and no, he came back just as the race began, so he couldn't prepare himself to get a good run, followed by both the Williams. It just went bad to worse.
And Dunferlump.
Four cars retired
retiring.
On lap 1. I think we're having a race restart.
We shouldn't.
A race restart is going to happen.
That's not entirely fair.
The rules state if an accident happens in the first lap of the race, if 4 cars go out in lap 1 following an incident, it would require a race restart, and 4 cars have done that because Ted First, Porter, Element Snow and Dunferlump have retired. Moronics also had left the session, and I've got an invite from Camo, so I think we are looking at a race restart. Alright, yeah, it's a race restart. This is the first time ever I've ever had to go for a race restart.
This. I don't think this is fair, because if you're not ready to start the race, then everyone else that is should get the advantage. If he's left to do something, then you can't leave between the session. I understand the need to go to the loo, But surely you can't be. I think that's harsh.
It's also time to prepare strategies. So
yeah, and as the victim of that in China, I can understand, but I don't understand why people leave mid-session.
We will have
about to start a race.
We'll have to do a race restart. BVB4 said, not sure if it was a restart. I don't know. I literally just got a message saying it's a race restart, and I got an invite from Camo as well. Everyone has left the session to join a new one, but that is something that's going to be up to the stewards, I think. But I have no idea what's really going on. Oh, Braver will definitely get a penalty because
Braver will definitely
according
get a penalty,
to the rules.
But I think it's something that needs to be discussed. If you leave and you're not back by the time the lobby starts again, that's on you. That shouldn't be on. If your car is then taken out other people, you should still be worthy of a penalty.
I'd agree and disagree. I'd agree definitely. You should be ready and back, but that's only if the host readies up. If someone else readies up beforehand, it also stopped Flaming from getting back in because Flaming lagged out. Braver readying up so fast prevented Flaming from getting back in.
Yeah,
so
I understand.
That also caught Flaming.
And so in the chat, people are saying if someone readies up before, that is a restart. I don't believe that's the case because that didn't happen in China.
It's not. No, that's as much as I'd like to agree. That is not a part of the rules. A part of the rules is if you ready up before the host.
If you ready up before the host, it gets 4 people. It gets restarted, but only 2 crashed. No restart was needed. I don't really know what's going on, to be honest.
I don't know as well, because literally after the instant accident, Moronix left.
Yeah, but again, you can't do that. You can't just rage quit straight after a bad start.
We'll have to see what goes on after the race. We'll have to discuss it. But for the time being, I'm afraid a restart is happening, which is slightly disappointing because
it wasn't a 4-man crash. It was a 2-person
Oh no,
crash.
it wasn't.
People got collected. And then, yeah, I think the wrong calls.
Vettel fan said he didn't rage quit.
I do think the wrong call's been made there in a restart. There was 2 cars crashed, others got racing, and you can't retire. 2 people crashed, everyone left. Yeah, DPS is right. This is the wrong call here. Wrong call here.
Well, unfortunately, whether it's been the right call or the wrong call, the decision was made by everyone because they all left.
Yeah, but you can't stay in a race that's obviously not going to be yeah, you can't just stay in, and if you get invited to another lobby, you're obviously going to join it. But I think that's a tough call, that. And I think the likes of Shrimp, the Williams and Bodder are gonna. Someone read up before the host, then someone can't join, and then people crash. I don't know. From what I saw, from my camera, Moronix got a bad getaway, and then he got clouted by a Renault. That's a starting incident. That's not worthy of a restart. And then everyone's just retired going around that first lap. So I don't know what's going on there.
I've had times where I've been in a practice race, someone gets a bad start, and if you're not careful to avoid the car when it's had a poor start, then that's your fault because you should have anticipated the car getting a bad start. So it doesn't matter what position you're in. You could be in P1 or you could be in P10, you could be in P20. No matter what, if a car in front of you gets a bad start, yes, fair enough, it's hard to see through the other cars, but you've got to anticipate a slow car to avoid collisions. Moronix had a bad start, which then he had a collision with a Renault rear-ending him. Unfortunately,
I didn't see if it was a Renault that got rear-ending him.
It definitely was,
because moved over on him. I haven't seen that bit.
2 cars left went out behind the pack. It was a Renault and a Haas, and then eventually like other cars joined, like Porter and all that. I do agree with Vettel and everyone else that there should be a mandatory waiting time, because
that doesn't solve the problem of people readying up early.
Exactly. Unfortunately,
the thing that needs to be discussed is if there's an early ready up, then it's a restart, no matter what.
Good point made by Shrimper. Good point made by Shrimper. It was caused by someone readying up early, which unfortunately was Braver Container, and Moronix, because he wasn't there, had cold tyres.
He's not there for the formation lap. That's this. It's a harsh viewpoint for me. I'm having a harsh viewpoint on this. If you're not there for the formation lap, you don't deserve warm tyres for the start of the race. You should not be leaving your wheel, your controller, at the start of the session, because it's asking for trouble, and it brings on this discussion of whether whether we need a race restart because it's cold tyres. If you've not done the formation lap, you're going to have cold tyres. If you've left, and I understand it's all coming from an early ready up, but if you've left to go and do something, you're not ready to race, and that's not fair on everyone else in the lobby.
I'm quite fortunate in my home because I've got like the toilet directly opposite my door. So literally, the moment we get into the lobby, I check my tyres, check my strategy, and I quickly do a quick like wee dash and then back in. Yeah, so like, you know, I always grab my drinks before the race.
If we're getting into proper league racing, you shouldn't be waiting for people to go to the toilet.
Yeah,
it's a harsh thing to say. You don't see the esports series when they start going, oh, hang on, someone needs to go get a drink. This is the gap. This is the bridge between proper league racing and friendly league racing, if you know what I mean. I mean, I'm completely supportive of a lobby restart if someone readies up. It ruined mine and my teammates' race in China, but nothing happened, and we just had to live with that, and we got a double DNF because of that. But to restart it, because first of all, we need to find out why it was restarted. Then we need to discuss the implications of that restart, because now Moronix, who is championship leader, I will point that out, will now have a better start and out-lead the pack away. So this is championship implications as well we're looking at here.
It will have to be something because I agree with you. You know, people will be looking at that viewpoint, and I can completely agree why that would be called into question. And but unfortunately now,
not only that, the strategy's dead in the water.
Yeah, strategies are now completely dead. Everyone can start on whatever they want.
They have to start on the tyres they're going to start on anyway. But this ruins effectively what is a strategy race. It's
this is actually quite annoying because
it's such a tough call, and I agree with everyone in the chat. A race restart was not warranted there.
No.
I don't think a race restart was warranted there. Moronix wasn't there. He then got taken out, but I don't know why both Mercedes and both Toro Rosso retired, because I didn't see anything happen to them.
I didn't see anything either. When the safety car came out, I mean, they should have just rolled on with the safety car.
And not
that would have given the cars that crashed
to
get their new wings and wheels and get back out.
Didn't retire. The guys that seemingly not involved, I can understand why Ted retired because he slammed into a wall, but
yeah,
it comes back to what we were saying a couple of weeks ago: is you've got to stick it out. You can't just retire the minute something goes wrong.
If there is, and this is just
everyone with early restart, they will get a penalty. You should be ready just in case this happens. Yeah, I agree with DPS on this. It's happened before. It will affect you, but doesn't mean you should have a paddy and leave. Completely agree with DPS there.
I completely agree. If you had a crash but you're not retired, your car's just damaged, that, and like say 2 cars have retired because they've actually lost their wheels, they've crashed, and 2 have crashed because they've lost their wings, that is not worthy of a restart. If 4 cars or more retire from broken wheels, that is a restart. That is definitely one, because that was a lap 1 carnage, but only 2 cars crashed and went out. So I completely agree with the chat and you, Krog, that the restart was completely unwarranted, because I had a little look through again, and that was only 2 cars. That was 2 people, and then an additional accident happened. That is not a restart warranted
Who made
race.
the call? That's the other thing to think of.
Who readied up before everyone else?
No. Well, Brave has apologised for that, and we need to move away from... Brave has apologised, so it happens. What we need to work out is what's happened on the what the events are that have followed that. That's what basically needs to be discussed.
The host has to be completely here to basically warrant when the race begins. Obviously, the rule states if you ready up before the host, you will be awarded a penalty. It doesn't mean, though, and I do agree with everyone, that you should be away from your controller, because if that sort of instant happens, because I've had that once in Bahrain. I went to the toilet, I came back, only 10 seconds remained on the timer because someone had readied up before the host did. So, you know, you have to be there at all times. You know, the time between starting the race, you know, before the formation lap, when you're all sitting there on the grid, is a strategy moment. You discuss tactics of your team. You go through tactics. You go through, you know, what strategies you're going to go for. And obviously, as I agree with everyone, because I'm actually really frustrated that this has happened, the fun of a strategy, Q2 was literally all of qualifying now was completely irrelevant. We've just used 72 minutes of the stream to sit there and just watch a restart.
And not only that, now we're looking at a simple one-stop.
4 drivers left. There was a crash, involved 2 cars. You know, they retired, and then an additional 2 retired, and an additional 2 crashed, but were not retired from
I think what has happened is 2 have had a crash, have been involved in that crash, and they've instantly left after what happened off the start. That is wrong. That should be penalised, and that shouldn't happen in the future. I think we need to look back over the stream when this is finished and actually work out what's happened, who's left, and how everything's played out.
So this is an
virtual
absolute
fan, people
disaster.
rage quit, and I agree. People rage quit. Again, it's going to be harsh, but if you rage quit, you get penalties. And I'm 100% for that. And I do want the stewards to go through this footage, who's rage quitted, what damage they had, and if they've just left for the fun of it because they've rage quitted, have a penalty for next race. Play a race ban for the next race.
I have a feeling there'll be a meeting going on after the race to go over what's basically the decision over, because as much as we all want to like have a little justice for what's happened, are we going to get this race going? And that's actually what I'm going to come on to say. We all don't have all night. You know, we have to get this race going. So, and here's what was a bit annoying as well, because you're not actually able to fully go over the stream until it's done. They have to figure out who started where. You know, someone could easily just lie and say, oh, I started here, and then it could completely ruin everything.
Hopefully someone should have screenshotted the results. So we had a message.
Did you screenshot them? Because...
No, I didn't. It's saying, leave. 40, can you just clarify for us, who put that message in the Discord?
If it wasn't the host...
Well, no,
then
that's
was
what
not
I'm
meant to
find
have
out. I want to. That's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of.
If Moronics or their division head said it, that's their word is law.
Not
Moronics. It's the division head.
The DPS is being so vocal about it kind of tells me Yeah, I think you're right, Shrimper. No, I don't actually think anyone would lie, and I can't remember. It just popped up. And I think this is the other discussion we need to have. Is how do we dictate? Because I don't have my Discord turned on. I turn my phone off when I race because it affects my internet.
I've
I
got
can't
my
view
data.
Discord.
I'll quickly have a look.
I can't view.
look over
No,
my
no,
data.
I'm race. We shouldn't have a race restart notification come through Discord. We need to get this race going. We've sat here for nearly 20 minutes doing nothing.
Yeah, we need to get this race going.
It's going to run on till about 10 o'clock otherwise.
Right. Unfortunately, a load of chatting was made.
Well, I haven't got access to the F3 chat.
I'm currently looking right now because right now the last message that was sent in the members lounge was nowhere near the race time.
Yeah,
it looks
the members
like
lounge is well off.
I can't see.
Yeah, I can't
anyone...
see Div 3.
No, someone made the call in Division 3, and obviously because we're not in it, we can't get the ability to make that call. All right. Braver Container, if Moronix has readied up, which he has.
Are we going?
Yeah, we're going. If Moronix readies up Braver, that means the session can begin again. The grid has been custom, so that means I think Moronix is able to choose who goes where. We've got no practice, no qualifying.
Any weather we had. We lose any weather we had for the race as well.
It's been set on light cloud. Shouldn't it be on dynamic?
No, because if it was a dry race, then it's set to whatever conditions it's in for the race.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, discussion.
Good luck, everyone.
So
come on, let's try and recover this.
Let's try and have a good race.
It's very frustrating because, you know, like, I had sort of plans after the race. But obviously, because I was hoping to maybe watch a film with my mother, but obviously because I was hoping to watch a film with her before she goes to bed late. But you know, a race could take anything from an hour to maybe a little longer, depending on safety cars, virtuals.
Take long in 40 minutes, so hopefully this will be done by 10. Hopefully,
maybe a little after. Yeah, I'd say no more restarts. I think now, you know, if a restart, you know, like I think once is, you know, if you have one restart, like fair enough. But like if we have a second crash in turn 1, I have no idea what we can do about that. Will it ride on?
I say we go on. If 4 or more crash this time, I think we need to. This is another discussion. I think the streamers should make that call instead of the guy that's in the race. It's this whole rule needs to be discussed over the next week. If there's a restart, then there should be no points. Well, that's a very harsh call from Vettelfan, but
that is a very harsh call.
I can understand where he's coming from.
I mean, like, fair enough for getting a penalty. Maybe like penalty points on your driver's license.
Well, next, then you'd have to ping. But as I said, I think before we make any harsh decisions, we need to look back and we need to see what happened at the start of this race. Because if people got front wing damage and rage quit, there should be a serious punishment for that, because it's ruined what could be a cracking race. I don't give a F star blank. Apologies for that. You can't restart every time. Yeah, I agree.
If 4 cars retire in lap 1, then a restart is warranted. If 4 cars don't retire,
but then you have that old Flaming's left.
Yeah, he's having bad connection problems.
Yeah, I do agree with what people are saying. It nullifies the race, because if you restart all the time, you can do so instead of a lead. Yeah, I agree. I do agree with Vettelfan. Or at least have it as half points. Because
It'll have to be in discussion.
It would have to be, it would have to be discussed. But I think the whole rule of if you have 4 cars DNF on the first lap, that should be the case. If it's a lag-related incident, and dare I bring it up, like John's was in the Formula 1 league, where John's lag car ruined 3 or 4 people's races, that should have been a race restart, because that's out of everyone's control. But if people have lost their front wings, and he started about a metre in front of Smokey, so he started in between 2 cars. And then it ruined the start, and then I got brake checked on the straight on the run to turn 4. He was just braked in the middle of the straight, so that did me in. But this, no, I agree with Vettel fan. There needs to be a penalty of nullifying the race.
Well, if a rule like that does come into play, the rules will be updated, but that'll be up to the stewards as well as the heads.
Yeah, what we've seen here, there needs to be a discussion on, because the way, I'm not going to say anymore. I don't want to be too negative on it, but I'm not that impressed with what I've seen tonight, with people just jumping out the lobby.
Unfortunately, I agree. Fair enough, there's frustration, but by the looks of it, yes, there was an incident, but it wasn't completely race ruining, because 2 people did crash out. That's understandable. 2 people did crash out, but that wasn't enough. Rules state 4 or more, but 2 people crashed out and were out.
It depends on the nature of the incident as well.
If everyone was in it, like if it was literally the entire grid, then fair enough. That would be a race restart. But 2 or 3 people, no.
The start Moronics got, that's not down to cold tyres. That was Moronics missed something off the start, because he didn't move. He didn't go anywhere. So that's what we need to look at. Is Ted the first? Is it Tedist? I'm going to call him Ted. I'm going to go Ted first. There we go. Dyslexia, brilliant, fantastic. Ted I can understand, but I don't think Ted's wheel came off. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Please do. But I
didn't get to see it because I was focusing on the front.
Let's put this behind us. We'll discuss this after the race. So Moronic served what is a golden bullet. See, this is a nice enough. Yeah, but
so
I wouldn't be surprised if someone leaves again after it.
So I don't know how it would be, because in F1, if you had a start like that, it would be either a safety car or a red flag. And
had a safety car. Though, that's in thing.
Yeah, we did have a safety car. The game appropriately responded.
I think you've got to look at, again, comparing this to the F1 race. We had an F1 race where chaos ensued after the first few corners because of John's desynced car. It took about 3 or 4 out of the race. No safety car, nothing. Race was over for about 4 people. Here we had a safety car. You can catch up after a safety car. You've just got to race differently. Let's go. Let's get going. I want to move on.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah,
and
Vettel fan agreed. If in F4 start, so that's said enough. I completely agree with that. You have an F start, you get involved in an accident.
I'd like to make a personal apology to any fans of RSF1 that tuned in to watch the race, because of the absolute carnage that happened. We all in RSF1, commentator and driver, or any member, we'd all like to personally apologise for having you be ready to come and attend this stream just to, wait a little while and not be able to maybe attend the full thing. So we'd like to personally apologise for making you have to wait.
Who's the host again?
Moronix readied up first, so everyone's ready. Is it information lap?
Yeah, that was it. There we go. Everyone's here. Fantastic.
Let's go over the grid again. So I'll let you go over it.
So we'll do one each. So I'll do first, you do second, I'll do third, if you know what I mean. So starting first,
Okay.
a long time after qualifying, we've got Moronics.
And then in second place is Lee. Sorry about that, I was just quickly organising the board.
That's fine. P3 is the second Williams, so Cross Kerry 1888 starts P3.
Followed by the Irish driver in the McLaren Bodder in P4.
Falcon Legends rounds off the top 5, starting P5 for Ferrari.
And then Old Mancy in Renault in P6 is there.
Top notch is the other challenging pass, so we'll keep an eye on him. We'll be expecting him to go up and help Moronics. He starts 7.
P8 is Angerfist.
40 in the other Ferrari starts P9.
DPS Racing in the McLaren P10.
Ted the First starts P11.
RSF1 Porter is in 12th in the Toro Rosso.
Then the other no, that's the Red Bull. Sorry, Brave Container starts P13.
With Duffalump following behind in P14.
Camo is starting P15.
Element Snow is P16.
And Flaming rounds off the grid, and I don't believe he's in the lobby, so that could be interesting.
Oh dear, we might have lost Flaming again. Also, Flaming was actually in P16 back in the
so
actual
he's
thing, so
back.
it should be swapped over. Right, I'll ride on board with the leading cars. You keep an eye on the back just in case something happens.
I'll go midfield. God, here we go.
So I'll watch over these lot, and I'll make sure to give everyone on the stream a good run by of what happened. So it is the restart of the final round race of round 5. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. So leading is Moronics, followed by Lee. Cross Kerry gets a good run. Lee is side by side with Moronics, followed by Bodder, Mancy, Top Notch, Angerfist. And there's been overtakes going on. And there's been contact in the back.
So Ted the First getting...
Oh, and there's a car off. It's Porter. Oh no, Porter. Are you there, Krog? You've just gone quiet.
To P3, so Bodder jumped. Bodder has jumped Cross Kerry. He puts the car into P3, so he's right behind now championship leader of Moronics.
Moronics is on the gearbox of Lee. They have gone onto their tyre strategies. So following from the restart, Moronics was given a second chance, but it looks like Lee still managed to take the lead, because even before the restart happened, Lee was in the lead. So following from Lee is Moronics, Bodder, Cross Kerry, Mancy, Falcon Legends, Top Notch, Anger, a little bit of contact nearly there from Falcon Legends and Anger, and it's going down the inside, and Falcon Legends spins and almost knocks into Angerfist and almost catches 40. DPS Racing 10th, Camo 11th, Container 12th, he's got contact from the beginning lap, he's got a damage on the end plate, followed by Duffalump, Element Snow, who's also got contact, Ted First, he's fine, Porter having a very terrible start after having a crash in the beginning of the race.
His front wing is fine,
horrible.
though. Sorry to interrupt, Porter's front wing is absolutely fine. What it looks like. So I don't know whether it's wheel-to-wheel contact, which spun him round, but Porter seemingly okay. As we see Angerfist and Falcon Legends scrapping away into the braking zone in turn 1, and Angerfist kind of helping pushing out forward, and 40's going to go all the way around the outside. Can he make this?
Oh, DPS Racing!
Yes, he can.
Fighting with him
from 40.
Oh, it's a three-man fight for P8. So it is 40 against Angerfist, and Angerfist is being tailgated by DPS Racing, because DPS Racing is all over the gearbox of that racing point. Oh, and side by side going into the chicane. Can he make a move? Maybe the fast right-hander. Oh, no,
40's out of shape though. 40's got out of shape, so Angerfist should be all over the side of him. Maybe thinking about moving to the braking zone. Thinks better of it.
Oh,
into the braking zone.
He can't.
Turn and 10.
Cross Kerry is on the back of Bodder. Bodder is under pressure.
So your top 4 separated by less than 2 seconds then. So you've got Lee, Moronics. Oh, Moronics with a really poor run off the chicane. So it's going to affect him all the way down through turn 16 and into turn 15. Bodder's going to have an amazing
Ted first has got wing damage.
So Ted first is going to have to... Bodder goes to the inside. Will Moronix... No, Moronix does defend. Bodder drops back.
Moronix defends. Bodder's getting close. Bodder's getting close.
Bodder putting Moronix under all kinds of pressure. Here we go then, round turn 4.
Bodder needs to make this
move into turn 4. No, he's not. Yes, he starts to camber away. He's broken that DRS already. The gap from first to second, 0.5 seconds, and growing as this battle between Moronix goes on.
This has been a very confusing day, really, in what's happened. Because obviously the restart has flustered everyone's feathers, but we managed to get the race in. Bodder runs wide coming out of the fast right-hander. Cross Kerry gets a look on Bodder. He can't do it because Bodder managed to defend the position nicely, staying on the racing line. So Cross Kerry backed off.
So Moronix already breaking that gap to Bodder and starting to re-attack JSD. The gap down to 1.2 seconds now. So this is far from over. This top 4 looking extremely feisty, and to be fair, Old Mansley hanging on there as well.
We've got a bit of an attack going on from Cross Kerry going into the straight. So DRS is active. Cross Kerry sets. It doesn't have the ERS. Bodder has got DRS on Moronix. I don't think Cross Kerry can get close enough to make the move on Bodder, because Bodder also has stockpiled his ERS load, and also he was on the tail, in the slipstream of Moronix. And Flaming, unfortunately, has left the session because he had trouble loading back in. It was a second chance, but unfortunately, he couldn't get back in. So I feel really sorry for Flaming, but unfortunately, he has to wait to Monaco.
Sorry.
Oh yes, he has.
Does, of course, drop over to Outbroken. Got alongside his Bodder again. We're seeing this battle for third place. It's fascinating to see these three. The gaps constantly accordioning up. A little bit of a slide that's going to put Cross Kerry onto the back of him. Does he look to the inside? No, he doesn't. Cross Kerry keeps it very level-headed there. He didn't send one, and that was it. I mean, if it had sent one, it would have been a very late on the brace move. So I'll hear let's see.
I think I might be lagging.
Who, you?
Maybe.
Why?
Because the lobby did twitch a little, and that was definitely my connection. But Cross Kerry goes down the inside.
Cross Kerry on the
straight. Cross Kerry does it.
Aggressive. Very aggressive from Cross Kerry.
Top notch has been taken by Manzi.
Yeah, man, the top
side by side.
I think made a mistake. So here we go then, side by side, round turn 3. Old Manzi going to try and hang out. Top notch gives him the big squeeze, but Old Manzi's still there. Still side by side, so Top notch is going to slide through into P5.
Top notch.
After what we were saying about Cross Kerry and Bodder being very gentlemanly to each other, Cross Kerry slammed the door in Bodder's face. It was like, I've got the position, bam, there we go. You're not having a chance back at that.
Sorry about the stream quality there, guys. It did get a little jumpy. That was my fault there, because obviously the streams having to be run for a while, and because we had to wait around for the restart, you know.
Yeah, that's
kind of collection hold up.
That happens. That's the part and parcel of league racing, I hit. As we go on to lap 5 as well, has been an action-packed first few laps. So Cross Kerry in front of Bodder now, so Bodder dropping positions on his championship rival Moronix. And Moronix
Cross Kerry is actually
real JSD in.
Cross Kerry's catching Moronix.
So all it would take is for, I mean, because we've got in the Drivers' Championship, Bodder and both the Williams separated by 2 points. So if the Williams finish in front of Bodder, they will jump him in the championship standings. So it's going to be a matter of who wants, as Ted the first retires, so that we have our first retiree of the race.
Other than Flaming, because obviously Flaming couldn't get back in, so...
Flaming didn't start.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for. But we know what I meant, so... Here we go then, as we continue. Angfist closing up to 40. We've got a nice little battle going on for P9, P8, 9 and 10 here. So good battles going on all over the field. Is this as close as you thought it was going to be?
Battle for P11.
40's made a mistake.
And 40's gone off.
Going into turn turn 8, I believe. So before he makes the mistake, gets a bit of oversteer, which allows Angerfist to sweep back through on the inside. So it was
and
turn 8
lost
before
no
he makes
time.
the mistake. No, he didn't.
He's catching
So
Falcon.
served up on a silver platter for Angerfist there. So Angerfist dispatching one of the Ferraris. He's got the other one in front of him. Can he chase after him? Let's see what happens.
Been an accident in the first and second sector. Who is it?
I'm trying to find out.
I don't know.
Still out of that DRS zone from JS Lee. JS Lee seems to
Cross
be
carry
in the gap just before the detection zone.
Cross carry is catching Moronic, sorry to interrupt. Cross carry, after getting past Bodder, it looks like Cross carry was being held up by the McLaren, and once he got ahead of Bodder, he has been able to capitalise on getting past. We might see a Williams 1-2 because Jace Lee is maintaining the gap between him and Moronic, and because Cross carry managed to get past Bodder, and Bodder is actually falling back a little bit in time, it is actually going to be a close battle for P2.
Williams 1-2 would see overtake Haas as top dogs in the Constructors' Championship. So the Williams guys will be wanting to pull this one off. And of course, there's no better other guy to have on the podium than your teammate. So Cross carry eagerly chasing after Moronic now. The gap 9 tenths. Can JS Lee, as we've seen in the past few laps, extend it before the detection zone? But you see, he's lost a handful of time.
He has.
The gap now 6 tenths. So unless JS Lee go deep into turn 10, I think
maybe
he has. JS Lee's lost a heap of time. So Moronic now in his slipstream. Cross carry's going to have to slipstream him to try and help out his teammate here. So the front three's trying to pull away, then leaving Bodder behind a little bit. Here we go then. Moronic goes to the outside. As
Moronic takes the lead.
Has JS got an issue because he was massively down on speed?
He might have accidentally done something with his tyres, but I don't know what's going on with Jace Lee. He has actually slowed down. Cross carry might get past him. Moronic retakes the lead. This is good for the Haas team. This will extend Moronic's lead ahead of Bodder.
So we've seen the gap. We've almost seen a 3-second swing in one lap with JS Lee. So unless the tyres are starting to go off already, I mean, that's extremely early for the mediums. But are we going to see, because Cross carry is all over the back of his teammate now as well, so JS Lee with the
Top Notch
issue.
Top Notch has got a 3-second time
picks up the penalty. Track extending. So will we see JS Lee let his teammate through here to continue the battle on with Moronic? But the problem is the two Williams guys, they're a point separated in the Drivers' Championship, so they're not going to want to be giving away too many freebies. It's still early on in the season, but JS Lee seems to be going backwards a little bit. Bodder dropped off the pace of this top three. Bodder 2 seconds behind Top Notch, 2 seconds behind him.
Caught by Top Notch.
Here we go then.
It looks like, yes, Cross carry's going to make the move on Jace Lee. It looks like Jace Lee is not coping too well. He knows Cross carry is faster, maybe. Yep, that might look like a Williams sort of team order sort of thing there. Jace Lee was struggling. Cross carry is faster. Cross carry can now close the gap between him and Moronic, which doesn't look like it's too long.
6'10".
Yeah, Petronas said he might have overheated his engine. Remember, when you're running in a higher fuel load, you can also overheat your engine, so you would actually
it's the revs as well. Moronic goes a little deep. So it's the revs to keep an eye on as well, because if you're revving over 12,500 revs, you're going to roast that engine and you're just going to diminish the performance you can get out of it. So here we go then. This is somewhat. It's all switched around, and we have a battle for the lead. Haas leads in front, but Cross carry are getting extremely feisty.
This is exciting. This is really exciting because Cross carry is definitely really fast around Spain. I think he really likes it here. And Moronic is actually struggling a little bit by the looks of it because Cross carry is closing a little bit more time. He's stockpiled the ERS a little bit more than Moronic. And yeah, Cross carry gets a better run.
Fantastic run off turn 16. He's going to be in front of him before we even get to the braking zone, I think. So here we go then for the lead. Cross carry sets the fastest lap, and he's going to go to the outside. But he's going to be well in front before we even arrive at the braking zone. There we go then. Cementing in that amazing he's shown in the first 10 laps.
Great move by Cross carry.
From P3. Neatly done, and off he goes. As we see the Ferrari stop as well, so Falcon Legend swaps with 40. Oh, and Angerfist is round. He's in the wall, turn 2.
No, Angerfist.
He's got high on the curb, and that's putting him into the wall in turn 2. So Angerfist missing his front wing.
He made contact. He's got a broken wing.
Yeah, he hit the wall. He's hit the wall, so he's gone high on the curb, and it's just rotated the car. And that is it for Angerfist front wing.
This is good for Porter and Braver Container.
Yes, it is indeed. It promotes them up. So, of course, Porter and Braver Container both having stopped early. So there's that yellow flag, I would presume, is for Angerfist, who will be crawling back round to pop in a new front wing. So cross carry. Moronix not dropped off the back too much, but JS Lee really struggling.
I think Jace Lee might be pushing the car too much, because remember, too much revs can overheat the engine. Being in the high fuel mix for too long can overheat the engine. And it looks like Moronix is going for round 2 with Cross Carry, going round the outside into turn 1. It's side by side with the pair of them going into turn 2. Moronix just sticks it, and he retakes the lead. Cross Carry is getting a look on the outside.
Turn 3. No, he's gone wide.
Oh, he's gone a little bit wide.
Dirty air.
Moronix retakes the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix for F3. This is a good fight between Cross Carry and Moronix. But can this fight continue? It looks like it can, because Cross Carry is all over the gearbox of that Haas.
Yeah, here we go then. So this is the battle we're expecting to see go on. And the other thing that we're starting to consider now is who blinks first on the pit stops. Because the undercut is massive around here. It can be worth 2 or 3 seconds. And the pace these two are showing, they're both pretty similar on pace. So it could be whoever breaks that DRS cap first could be the ones to walk away with this. So this is far from over. Angerfist pits to swap to the... So Angerfist goes on to the softs then.
Moronix went deep on the hairpin. And it looks like now, if Cross Carry can get a better exit than Moronix, it depends on how Moronix takes these corners. It looks like it could have maybe... Yeah, that was actually a little bit better, actually. I don't know if Cross Carry can make the move. No, I wouldn't.
DRS, he's going to be close. It's not going to be close enough, though, to make a move. As Bodder...
Top notch.
Bodder pits from P4 to another set of onto the hards. 21 laps
Williams
on the hard
sandwich
Bodder.
right now. Sorry, a Haas sandwich. It's a Haas sandwich. It's a Haas 1 and a 4.
So Bodder pitting to the hard. So unless Bodder will go to the end, he's surely stopping again. He comes into the hard.
Angerfist on the softs.
Yeah, I don't really know what the call is there.
What is he doing on the soft compound? We're on lap 12. They will not last 21 laps.
I don't even think the hards are going to last 21 laps. I mean, Bodder should know about pushing strategy. I mean, he did it in Baku and he got a puncture on the last lap. So Bodder will I
think Bodder's going for a 1-stop. It is a possibility to finish on the hard compound now. It will be pushing it because he did pit on lap 11.
That is a stretch. Here we go then.
22 laps.
Round 12.
Oh, a little bit of a cut there.
With a little bit of a cut. But Moronix seems to be getting a really good exit off turn 16 now. He seems to have maximised that last sector. Getting a nice run off that last corner.
If you've noticed, Cross Carry is not pushing too much on his ERS, but Moronix is always pushing up to 4 when Cross Carry is getting too close so he can have the appropriate speed to defend. Even when Cross Carry...
ERS, because of the benefit you get from the toe. Here we go then, so this could be interesting. JSC could be going for an undercut here on both leaders. Depends how... Surely we'll see Cross Carry and Moronix react in the next couple of laps, but it's that for JS Lee, a move to defend from Bodder. Has Bodder triggered the round of pit stops here?
I think it has, because Jace Lee is out in front of Bodder.
So that's to cover him off. So the gap 2 seconds to Bodder. So Bodder has in fact closed up there. So now we focus. Yeah, that's going to be the softs. We focus on the leaders. Will they respond to JS Lee and Bodder coming into the pit, or will they both continue on with their scrap? we'll see who's going to blink first of the two leaders.
Yeah, the cut there.
Oh, cross-carry
Cross-carry's
pits.
hitting.
Cross-carry pits.
Border,
This will be
no,
for the half. This will be an
Moronix
attempt
is
for
staying
an
out.
undercut. So Moronix could well find himself losing the lead here. Depends how quickly Cross-carry's outlap is. He had a very good
Top
in-lap.
notches in as
Moronix
well.
with a lot to beat.
Element Snow is up into P2. Yeah, I've had a one run in with them off once, and let's just say I hate it. But
What a race,
Element
though. This is
Snow
shaping
and
up to be.
Dufferlump.
So Cross-carry way out in front of JS Lee.
Dufferlump has got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings.
So that's another track extending warning that we've seen. So interestingly, Cross-carry has brought himself right into contention here by staying out in front of Camo. He just came out in front of him. So the gap we're looking at is 20 seconds. It's around 20 seconds for a pit stop here. So surely Cross-carry's thrown himself into the lead. Virtue of the undercut. All eyes on Moronix then. Will he pit? But then the advantage comes back to Moronix later on in the race with fresher tyres.
Logically speaking, Cross-carry might get ahead of him. It all depends if Moronix made the right move. Should he have pitted with Cross-carry? You keep an eye on Cross-carry, I'll keep an eye on Moronix. So Moronix is now going into the pits. Where is Cross-carry?
Cross-carry coming through turn 14 and 15 now. He's got the foot flat to the floor through turn 16. He's surely going to be way out in front of Moronix. He's going to get a nice toe and some DRS off Dufferlump. The gap's going to be close. Moronix still in the pit box. Here he is. Cross-carry's going to take it. Brilliantly undercut.
It's a battle for the lead. Cross-carry takes the undercut works. So a Cross-carry gets out in front of Moronix, who's now on cold tyres. Dufferlump and Element Snow are still in front, and they're still on their tyres.
The key for Cross-carry now, he needs to clear Dufferlump. He needs to clear Dufferlump.
Has pulled over.
Dufferlump just lets them both through. That's
Porter's
not exactly what... Porter's out, but we're going to continue on because Moronix to Cross-carry. Moronix obviously set Dufferlump a fiver before we started because he jumped right out of the way.
I think Dufferlump noticed how his tyres are worn. Both the Williams and the Haas are on much fresher tyres. I think he knew there was no point in a battle he will not win, because all that's going to do is stress out the tyres in his strategy, as well as you know, put himself in danger of maybe coming out of the race with an instant or whatever. But for the moment, it looks like Duffer realises, I think I'm going to just let these guys go by and then have my race of
makes a clever call there. So he's, of course, facing Camo and Elemental Snow. Elemental Snow seems to be pulling away out front from the other long runners on the hard compounded tyre. So Cross-carry got a nice little gap. We won't doubt we'll see Moronix going for him into turn 1. It's going to be close though, and he closes up even more under braking. So Moronix
Camo
and
down the inside of Dufferlump.
Yeah, so this is 4th position with these two. JS Lee right on the back of these two as well.
It looks like Bodder, unfortunately, might have pitted way too early, because it gave Jace Lee the chance to open up some time between the pair, pit, and then get out in front. So, unfortunately, it looks like Bodder's strategy has not worked. And once Duffer, Camo, and Element pit, it's going to be Cross-carry first, Moronix second, Jace Lee third, and Bodder fourth.
Before everyone dived into the pits.
Yeah.
So here we go then.
This is a really good race. It looks like Moronix is gaining.
Playing key. But again, though, what could we have seen with worn tyres? That would have made it completely different. But that's the hand we've been dealt. And I tell you what, we are playing some damn good cards with the hand we've been dealt as well. So this is a damn good race we've got going on here. Cross-carry and Moronix pretty much glued to each other. And Cross-carry get a good exit onto turn 16. He can. But Moronix as well with a good getaway. Here we go then. Round 17 of Cross-carry versus Moronix. Moronix is going to be over him. He's in overtake. He's got DRS wide open. He's going to move to the inside. Cross-carry doesn't really defend it too hard. Trying to stick it round the outside. Gives him the inside for turn 2. Great racing from these two. As we now go
That
into turn
was
3. Moronix with a run.
a nice
but
battle.
he's going to go a little wide.
Careful, Moronix.
Don't want to be going out there. Cross Kerry goes a little lead. But you can run that line. It is a little wider. JS Lee passes Camo, so JS Lee overtaking the long hard starters. So there we go then, JSC right behind Dufferlump now, trying to get back involved with this podium battle, which he's only 3.5 seconds off, so not clear.
This is an intense battle. It looks like we got some going on in the middle as well between DPS Racing and Falcon Legends. DPS Racing is catching 40, and meanwhile, while he's stuck behind 40 fighting for the championship point, Falcon Legends is all over the back of that McLaren.
So there we go then, battles galore all over the field. Moronix so much closer. He's gone a little deep into 14, and that's going to hurt him on the run down to turn 1. Off turn 16, you can see Cross Kerry pull ahead. Here we go then. Moronix in overtake with the DRS wide open. He's not going to be close enough this lap, I don't think.
No, he won't.
Unless it's an almighty dive bomb. JS Lee passes Dufferlump. So Cross Kerry backing Moronix up here. Could we see JS Lee redoing this battle that he fell off not too long ago?
That's a good point, actually, because Jace Lee is actually showing some pace with these tyres. If Moronix is going to continue to get stuck behind Cross Kerry, it could play into Jace Lee's hand. But Moronix went wide a little bit and lost some time to Cross Kerry. That is not good for Moronix because Jace Lee is catching.
JSD consistently lapping in the low 23s and high 22s. When you compare that to Moronix's times, he's lapping mid to low 23s. So JSD is faster and he is catching up with this battle at the front. As we see Moronix with that mistake, quite where I mentioned earlier, Cross Kerry's opened the gap. This could be the gap that Cross Kerry needs to open up to get out of that pesky DRS.
Is one of the most weirdest races there's been.
Oh, Camo's round.
Camo's gone. No, Camo.
Camo's had an accident.
He hit the wall. He spun out and hit the wall.
He spun Camo with it all falling apart. He should be able to get on to mediums to the end. But
Camo.
We shall see. Unlucky from Camo there. Really tough.
Oh, we might see a move from DPS Racing on 40. 40's got no ERS to defend with, while DPS Racing has. So he is going to the first corner. DPS Racing makes a move down the inside, late on the brakes, and 40 tries to defend the position, but he cannot. DPS Racing is just a little bit faster than 40, and he takes the position. Braver Container getting past the wounded Renault. So it helps Braver Container if he can keep 10 seconds ahead of Anger Fist.
Mediums to the end.
So it looks like Braver will be fine because obviously he readied up before everyone else, before the race restart. He does have a penalty, but yeah, 40 is still on the back of DPS Racing. It's close for the battle for P9. You know, these points matter, and because Bodder's having a bad race, he's stuck behind Dufferlump. He just cannot get past him.
Dufferlump yet to stop there. Dufferlump and Elemental Snow running amazing strategies here with the hard tyre. I'd have expected them to jump off this quite early, and
Dufferlump is struggling.
Continues. Elemental into Elemental Snow's hands quite beautifully here because he's not having to jump out the way for Cross Kerry yet. So Elemental Snow just been allowed to do his thing out front on those hard tyres. Is he going to try? Do you reckon he's going to try and go for the softs to the end? Maybe get that point for the fastest lap.
No, I don't think if he went for softs, he'd just go even far down back because he'd have to do another stop. So I have a feeling he's going to push it to maybe lap 22.
Rio takes DPS 9. DPS nearly runs into the back.
Speaking of battles,
through turn 3. DPS gets out of it again. So he's been right in the middle of the track. DPS having to apply the left pedal to avoid a collision. So Moronix back within 5/10 of Cross Kerry again.
He made up the ground. Jace Lee has still caught up a little bit. Camo is back into P12. Braver Container pits.
Braver Container out on the medium compounder tyre.
He's going to finish on those.
Yeah, he will indeed. So not only that, I'm not sure who's got the fastest lap actually.
Angerfist. He's got
Yeah, but
fastest
he's
lap
not
of
going to
the
finish
race.
inside the P10. So it'll be whoever then has the next fastest lap at the P10. Or does it just not get awarded to anyone if they're not?
I don't know, because it's been such a mental night. I really have no idea what's going on, because I think whoever no, it was either Jaisley or Cross Kerry. It was one of the Williams that set fastest lap of the race before Angerfist did, so it'll be awarded to one of them two when we go back over the stream.
So
I just have to ask quickly, Krog. Could you take screenshots of the race standings at the end and send it through to Charismix after the race?
Indeed. So the JSD then creeping back into this battle for the lead.
Moronics might make the move here.
Very close. Is he going to have enough into the braking zone to turn 10?
Angerfist has got another fastest lap of the race, the 1:21.5.
It's not going to get him anything though if he continues to run down in P13. Camo picks up his penalty. 3 seconds, sorry, for track extending. DPS now, right on the back of Elemental Snow, but Element Snow obviously getting quicker on those medium tyres. Element Snow could finish up P5 here. P5 or even P4 if he continues at the rate he's going.
Do keep in mind that the mediums could easily do over 10 laps. They could do about 13, 14, maybe 15, depends on how you preserve. But Element Snow has technically got the advantage in terms of grip. If I quickly check how many positions he's made up, he's actually made 9 positions, and he's actually going to be finishing on these tyres. So I think Element Snow has played this beautifully into his hands. I know it's way too early to talk about driver of the day, but if I had to discuss one, it'd have to be Element Snow.
Yeah, he'd have to be in consideration for it. He's driven a stellar race so far. But 10 laps to go, anything can happen. Oh, Moronic's getting very close to the gravel trap on the exit of turn 9. Of course, we saw Pierre Gasly there. Pierre Gasly been it there at testing. It's a challenging corner to get right. You've got that gravel trap, you can dip the wheel, and that is curtains for your race. You dip that wheel in that gravel trap, but Moronic's closing in to cross carry again. As we see JSD trying to close up. He's taking a little bit more time out of these battling two, but he's going to want them to scrap a little more if we're going to see him actually fully join in the battle. So here we go then, Moronic's in hot lap, so he's giving it everything. Cross carry moves into the middle of the track. Is Moronic's going to send it at the last minute? No,
he won't. He's holding off.
Of it.
Element Snow is on Old Mancy, going on to the DRS. Go on the right side of the Renault. It's a battle between the two cars. Who can get the better line? Element Snow takes 6th position from Old Mancy, and he gets a good run through there. So next up on Element Snow's list is Top Notch.
I mean, if he gets Top Notch quickly, there's no reason why he can't go on to attack Podder.
Yeah, actually, he has a good chance of maybe even getting a podium if he can continue this attacking pace.
Hell of a pace to catch up. He's 13 seconds off P4. So I'd say I reckon Elemental Snow's got to be aiming for top 5. As we see Camo get overtaken by Angerfist. Duffalump and all that got the fastest lap. So if he can catch up to Falcon and overtake Falcon, he will claim that extra point for fastest lap. So he'll double his points all if he comes in P10.
Falcon might need to pit. I don't know if Falcon can finish on the hard compound tyres. He's got to do another 9 or 10 laps on those tyres. It is a possibility, but it will be hard.
Moronic's closing in. JSD dropping back. He's constantly around. It's really tantalising for JSD. He can see the battle for the lead, but he just hasn't got the pace to get involved with it. Struggling
and it looks like
around the lap. Moronic's right on the back of Kerry. Cross Kerry, I must say, defending perfectly. He's putting the car in the middle of the track. saying Moronix, you're going to have to go the long way around if you want to do this. But Moronix is that driver, he will do that.
Do keep in mind that Element Snow has already cut down the time to 7.5 seconds between him and Top Notch.
So he's taken a roughly second out of him that lap alone. He's going to have to continue on at that second lap pace, but we're expecting the mediums to take her off towards the end. Cross carry teasing.
Going into the hairpin, literally, he wanted to make a little look, but he didn't bother. He just backed off. Angerfist has gotten past Camo.
Here we go then. So cross carry, make sure to maximise that run onto the back straight off turn 16. Seems to be surprisingly good at doing that. We've got yellow flag in sector 3. Can't work out who that's for, but here we go then. Moronix, cross carry's going to leave it on the outside. Moronix.
Oh, he backed off.
Inside line. Moronix being very cautious. The two starting to really pull away from JS Lee now. Bodder 3 seconds back off the podium. So Bodder again, he looks like he's going to miss out on the podium, but he's going to be getting consistent points. If Moronix has an accident, Bodder's going to be there or thereabouts, but he's going to drop to P4 in the standings because he's going to be outscored by both the Williams.
Do keep in mind that, remember, any time that we thought someone was going to finish in position, because remember we thought Cross Carey was going to get a P3 back in Australia, and then he ended up hitting the invisible barrier after the infamous chicane of turns 11 through 12 in Australia. So we cannot say the win is comfortably awarded to either Cross Carey or Moronix, because you never know.
Until the fat lady sings, as my nan always used to say. It's over until that flag is waved and those cars are parked up after the race. But Moronix doing everything to try and close this gap up. Well, he's gone very deep into turn 14. That's going to hurt him. So that might cost him a run. Carry into turn 1. Cross Carey just pulls away. He's opened that gap up again to 1.1 seconds.
Dufferlump 3-second penalty.
Another 3-second penalty if I'm not mistaken. So Dufferlump not quite catching Falcon Legends. So Ferrari on for a 1-2 in the not a 1-2, a solid points finish. Sorry. So here we go then.
Blue flags have been
40
waved
on the back of Old Mansley.
before
He goes the long way round. Old Mansley's going to let it happen. He's going to attack him back on the brakes. No, he's not. Old Mansley sits behind
Good
40.
move by
so 40 propels himself up to P7.
DPS Racing is going to get a move on Old Mansley, I think. He is all over the back of that Renault, going in, out of the fast right-hander. Can he do it? Old Mansley goes a little bit funny there, going off a corner. Angerfist gets a penalty. Old Mansley is struggling on those tyres, and I think if DPS Racing can get past him, he can continue to attack 40, but until then, we have to see what happens with Old Mansley. And so now going into the right-hander, can he get a better run? No, he can't. He has to come off the line. Old Mansley nearly spins off. He loses grip. Goes down the inside of Old Mansley. What a move by the McLaren.
Brilliant late on the brake stuff. That's what we like to see. I haven't seen as much
on
the
inside
as I thought. Old Mansley cruised back.
It's a good fight between the two Renault
DPS gives him the squeeze. So Old Mansley not giving that one up then. Didn't see him sneak back up the inside. I think the thing to pay attention is here, that mistake going into turn 14 could have seriously cost Moronix this. It could have even cost him this race.
Moronix is falling back.
He's falling back, and he's not exact. And here we go. Then Old Mansley going back up the inside of DPS Racing. DPS on later on the brakes, tries to hang around the outside, but doesn't. Old Mansley retakes P8. Oh, the two of them very nearly collect each other. Brilliant reactions from both of them there. To not see them both take an early shower. But DPS, what a switch, what a save. Brilliant drive.
Here's what's the best part. Both Renault-powered cars, same aged tyres, and two skilled drivers. So it's a battle of skill and timing here.
Yeah, indeed it is. As we're seeing, we'll see DPS go back at him. So Moronix trying to get back in the DRS across Kerry, but he's closing that gap, but he's not closing it in by enough, as he's going to have another lap where he's unassisted by DRS. Moronic that mistake at turn 14 could have really hurt his racing. As Cross Carry has he's just gone. Saying that, Moronic gets back into 1 second. Classic commentator.
Is he in the DRS
No, it depends where he is, because if Cross Carry can open the gap up in the right part of the track, then he will not have DRS, which Cross Carry seems to be doing.
DPS Racing takes Mansi.
Go back at each other. Oh, Mansi proving that you can scrap on all the tyres, haven't it?
I think DPS Racing is, I think he's managed to stick it ahead of old Mansi. We don't know yet. Mansi is still half a second away from DPS Racing, but it looks like the fight between the pair of the cars has allowed the Ferrari of Falcon Legends to get a little sniff into the action.
So Falcon Legends right on the back of this battle for P9 then. Yeah.
So it looks like the midfield's going to give us a show, considering that the battle between the top 3 is just sort of stayed as it is for most of the race.
As you say, that Moronic's back into that crucial 1 second to claim that DRS zone with 4 to go. I'm not going to say it, but Cross Carry looks like he's got this in control. I do apologise.
No, saying that, Moronic has gotten to 6 tenths off of Cross Carry. Cross Carry goes a little wide.
The defence he's put up so far, it has been fantastic. It's going to take something special for Moronic to get past him. Because so far, Cross Carry has driven a fantastic race.
It does not look good for him. Falcon Legends is all over the back of Mansi.
So Falcon Legends then all over the back of Old Mansi. As we said, this battle between DPS and Old Mansi could cost Old Mansi another position as we go into turn 5. So then, Element Snow up 10 positions. Top Notch as well having a good race. He's gaining 2, but Cross Carry gaining 2 for the lead. So gap 3 tenths now. Moronic's all over the back of Cross Carry. Is Cross Carry's tyre starting to struggle? That
might be the move.
Starting to hurt him.
Oh, Cross Carry went a little wide.
So he will have picked up a warning for that, but Moronic seemingly can't seem to attack him. 3 to go then for Moronic. Can he do it? I don't know. I couldn't call this.
Struggling though. Oh,
anyone in the top 3 to win
fighting him.
So Cross Carry struggling with oversteer. Moronic's seemingly having a fair bit of understeer going into turn 14. But that Haas, must say, does look like the better car at the minute. Cross Carry.
It's a battle of the steer.
It's going to be a battle of who's going to send it. You've just got, as Ricardo would say, lick the stamp and send it.
Lick the stamp and send it. Yeah.
What a quote.
The famous Aussie catchphrase.
Falcon Legends right on the back of Old Mansley, but Old Mansley seemingly maintaining that gap. The gap we need to focus on is the gap out front. RSF1 Moronic.
Oh my God! Cross Carry!
So that could cost Moronic a chance for the win. Cross Carry early on the brakes. Moronic gets it all wrong on the braking zone and nearly runs into the back of it.
Well done to Moronic for responding.
Well avoided.
That was very good reaction.
Cross Carry early on the brakes. Moronic's thinking I'll go a little later, but just didn't expect the Williams to be that early on the brakes.
That's bad for Moronic because that has harmed his tyres, and that allows Jay Slade to get close. Falcon Legends has got a 3-second penalty, so that could put Dufferlump into a position he needs.
It will. No, but Dufferlump has one as well. That's the thing to remember. It's going to be who's going to have the least amount of penalties for that final points paying position. As Camo gets out of the way. It's a lap car. Calm down, everyone. So Moronic with it all to do then, with seemingly 3 laps to go. Has Moronic just thrown away this win?
He might have, but then again, we don't know what happens because remember, Skunk Burner in F2, back on Sunday, seemed comfortable on P3, and then he goes off. So do not rule anything out yet. You know, as you say, we've got to wait until the fat lady sings and all the cars cross the line.
So then, as we continue on, for the last few laps of this race. It's been a fantastic race. I mean, everyone's driven well. It's a shame we had that slight incident at the start, which we say will be discussed later on. So Dufferlamp has 6 seconds worth of penalties. Falcon Legends only with 3. So Moronics.
Duffalamp's got another penalty.
Yeah, so they make that 9 seconds worth of penalties then. But again, we saw the same in Baku. We saw Moronics make a slight mistake while chasing for the lead, and that's cost him. We saw the same thing in Baku. I mean, second place isn't. It's good points.
Fordy's got a penalty. That puts DPS Racing up.
It does indeed, and it will also put Old Mansley up as well.
Yeah, it will.
Mansley,
This is not good for Fordy.
3.2 off Fordy, Old Mansley. No, 4 seconds. So Old Mansley is 4 seconds off 40. So Moronics again trying to close into Cross Kerry.
Does Top Notch have a penalty?
I'm not sure. I don't.
Oh, there's a battle between Old Mansley and Falcon Legends.
Makes the
but it looks
mistake.
but Falcon Legends gets by. Braver Container, the fastest lap of the race, but obviously it won't really count because he's not in the top 10. So Falcon Legends maintains P9, but he has got a penalty. Old Mansley hasn't got a penalty, but Old Mansley would rather get in front of him than allow a penalty to dictate where the position's put him.
So then, as we go on to the final lap, Moronics 1.3. Moronics charging
back up a little.
Cross Kerry. Slight track extend to get a good run. He's going to have to do it into the hairpin of turn 10 if he's going to be there. He's going to be a second. Moronics with a stellar lap 32 has really propelled himself back into contention for this race win. I don't know who's going to win. With 3/4 of the lap
It's tough
left,
to say.
I couldn't call this.
Moronics is on the charge.
Down that back straight and he can get a good run. There is no reason why he can't just go for it.
But the thing is Cross Kerry has got extra fuel to burn. Moronics' fuel light is flashing. So this is a dangerous position for Moronics because Cross Kerry has the ability to slap everything into max and continue to defend. While Moronics cannot push his fuel any further. He has to rely on ERS and timing. But he is 9/10 off of Cross Kerry. Oh, and can he get DRS?
No,
yes, he can.
He's too far back though. He tries late on the brakes, but it's not going to be enough. Cross Kerry keeps the lead.
Yeah, he keeps it.
So Moronics then must, after that mistake, after a 2 hour and 17 minute long stream, 33 laps of what has been a fantastic race, Cross Kerry round 5 to take the checkered flag and to win round 5 of the Formula 3 RSF1 Championship. He will leapfrog Bodder and he will leapfrog his teammate in the championship standings. P1 and P2 are your championship leaders. So as we go into round 6, which is of course Monaco, these two will be looking to maximise their point take, as these two, I believe, and I don't know if you'll disagree with this, but I think, are we looking at our 2 championship rivals?
We probably might be, because Cross Kerry found amazing speed, and I think we'd have to agree for the moment, driver of the day has to be Element Snow.
To me, it's between Element Snow and Cross Kerry.
If we look at the standings quickly, in terms of position changes, Cross Kerry went from 3rd to 1st, but Element Snow made up 12 positions. I think Element Snow made up 10 or 11 positions. He made up 10, so I think Element Snow gets driver of the day. I think that he was in the back of the grid, like literally dead last in the restart, and he managed to come home P5. So no, P6. Sorry, he came home P6. So,
but I'm going to give my Cross Kerry. He drove a fantastic race, undercutted to perfection, and then just wasn't phased. We saw Moronics make a couple of errors, and Cross Kerry just drove perfectly for the win from P3.
If you could just quickly get screenshots of the table and then invite our 3 podium sitters on, we'll be all good. But
so there we have it then. There are your results. Cross Kerry takes maximum honours of 25 points. Moronic will extend his lead in the championship, but Cross Kerry is his new rival as we see him propel himself into P2. And Williams will jump past in the results for that race as well. So Williams now the championship constructor to watch out for, as they are now leading the Constructors' Championship. What a race.
And it has been a very good race from everyone, especially with working through the restart and penalties. It was good racing, and well done to DPS Racing, because he managed to catch up to 40 to take 7th place.
So then we'll just get our race leaders, our top 3 into the party, and we'll get their view. But that was a fantastic race, especially the battle for the lead. What a brilliant race.
Hello, gentlemen. I will need you to please tick the box to include your audio for the interview, please. Jace Lee, hello. Make sure you include your audio, please, and we'll go in order for the podium. I'll go with P3. Krog, you interview Moronix, and then I'll interview Crosscarry.
Yep, can do.
Righty dokie. All right, everyone, have you included your audio?
Yep. Yeah.
Rightio. Right, Jay Slee. That was a very rough start to the race. You managed to fight with Moronix for P1 near the beginning of the race, but then suddenly all of your pace started to dissipate, and then the switch was made with Cross Kerry. Can you give us an insight on what happened there?
No, it was good. It was a good start. Obviously, to me, I think my setup's just more tailored toward qualifying. We've turned down a few things, and the tyres just started to go, really. Started to lose pace compared to the other 2 guys.
You made...
Let my teammate pass in the end, because I thought, well, he's obviously doing better. He's obviously better on his tyres at the moment, so, and still got P3, so happy with that.
You made a good decision, because obviously this has put your P3 and Cross Kerry's P1 has put both put the Williams into the lead in the constructors. So well done to you there, and also
Thanks.
have to say well done, because you got ahead of Bodder in the pit stops, and that was probably one of the most important moves of your entire race, to stay ahead of Bodder. How did you feel once you realised that Bodder was pretty much behind you?
I was happy with that. There's a little trick to that, but I'm not going to give it away. But yeah, I was happy with it.
Every driver's little secret.
Keeps their cards close to their chest.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Jace Lee, well done drive. Good drive today for you for a P3. And we'll pass you over to Krog now to interview Moronix.
So Moronix, it seems to be a common thing interviewing you on the podium, no matter which step you're on. But again, we find you involved in a scintillating battle for the lead. How was that race? How did that pan out for? Of course, I imagine that you got the golden bullet in the lobby restart after what happened earlier on, but all-round excellent result for you, leading a championship again.
Yeah, I was stuck in a little bit of a Williams sandwich the entire race. I was fighting Jace Lee for the first 8 or so laps, and then it switched to Cross Kerry after the pit stops, but it was overall good race. I kept my pace consistent to keep up with Cross Kerry. He was very consistent on his tyres as well as his ERS management. But yeah, I had my chances to overtake him, I just never took them. He just his run out of the final chicane was just too good. I couldn't keep up with him on the straight. But good job to the Williams guys as well.
Yeah, it was the run off of that final chicane did seem to be pretty strong. But can you just talk us through what happened into turn 10? That move where you looked to be later on the brakes and had to dive out of the way, because that seemingly cost you a run at the win.
Yeah, I was a bit too far. A bit too close to him. And I was in the DRS range and just got caught in the start of here. My brakes just didn't stop, so I had to kind of swerve, otherwise I would have took him out. So it cost me a fair bit of time, but still fight back and still finish just under second as well. It's a bit encouraging for himself.
Yeah, and both of you finishing, of course, without penalties, which is always good to see. So now we go on to our race winner then.
Right, Cross Kerry. I bet you were really happy to cross that line to take P1, so the race restart definitely did play an effect on strategies, and it looks like everyone still managed to put on a good show. But how do you feel taking the race win today? Give us your insight on how it all went.
I don't know how I done it, to be honest. Coming into this weekend, it was just... I was happy enough for the podium. Honestly, I just thought after Baku it was podium and try to get away from Spain. And even throughout the week, the practice wasn't going as good as I would like it. And it was just, as soon as I seen myself in quali and 2/10 off, I thought, well, I think it's just set for the podium. Then just Jay Sleeve, he was doing a good job holding up Moronix. Them two battling for them first 8 laps, and I have to say thank you to Jay Sleeve for letting me go and giving me a good go at Moronix. And it just all happened from there. I was lucky enough. Just I got the undercut going. I was coming out of the pits. Camo, I think it was. He was there and thankfully just got in front. And I think that's what just got me the lead when Moronix did pit. And it was just a matter of trying to hold him off and just trying to get a good exit out of that last chicane. That's all I was worried about. Just save the RS and out of that last chicane, and hopefully he didn't have it. But I have to say it was a great battle.
You had monstrous pace when it came to corner entries and exits, because there'll be moments when Moronix looks like he was going to catch you, but then you just get a better run out. I think Spain's probably one of your favourite tracks by the looks of it, because you were just cruising. When after the whole pit stop, you were having a good fight, but you were defending tremendously against Moronix. Moronix put in an amazing show trying to attack, but your pace through the track, you just looked like you owned it.
Well, it looks like it has to be one of my favourite tracks now, to be honest, but that's all I was looking for, was corner exit out of that last chicane, and hopefully he didn't get there in the end, thankfully.
Well, as I said to
some brilliant defensive driving
to Jace Lee, you've made this win puts you and your teammate ahead of the Haas team. So I bet you're really happy to get the constructors' points in. So Williams is in the lead, although Moronix still leads the championship.
Well, that's the main thing I think that we're thinking of now, is just try to get these constructors going. I think we're a solid team.
Continue.
Hopefully.
So, Cross Kerry, do you think you can challenge Moronix for the title?
I'll give it a good go. Like, I'm not going to say yes. Like, he is a very quick driver, and I do feel like I have to give it everything just to keep up with him. So I will definitely give it a go, and hopefully we'll see what happens if I can get another few wins under the belt. But I just know Canada's one of his favourite tracks, so that's what I'm worried about.
If you don't want to, then I will say yes.
As long as one of us do it.
Both of you are very close now. I think, but yeah, they are under 10 points separating both of you. So you're both in contention. So it's a 2v1 situation really. So that's something to look forward to later on in the season for sure.
And it's a split decision right now, because we couldn't really make a full agreement on driver today. I personally said Element Snow because of the amount of positions he made up from being pretty much dead last place, but because of how much of a show you put on, the amazing pitch strategies and the great battles you had, obviously the team orders coming through where you had to get past Jace Lee to make the attack on Moronix. You are Krog's driver of the day, but I would like to say you are as well to me, but unfortunately I have to give my driver of the day to Element Snow.
I think if we had to, we would give them both out to you and Element Snow, but for me, the way you drove and defended, even when you lost the position, you kept it cool, did it well on the brakes, and just retook it into the next corner. I thought that was brilliant. And that's something you don't always see in league racing, so that is very well.
Well, it looks like, because obviously this has been a very long evening due to the race restart. So again, big apologies to everyone for the wait there, and also a big thank you for your patience on waiting through to see the amazing show that Jace Lee, Moronix, and Cross Kerry have put on for everyone. So, is there anything else? Do you want to ask any more questions before we wrap up for tonight, Krog?
No, I think it's all been covered. Are you all looking forward to Monaco next week?
No.
That's the answer
No.
I was kind of expecting. No, so as I said, Monaco next week. So it is round 6. It is the Principality. It is the gem of the Formula One calendar. It's my favourite track, but sadly I don't think I'll be here to comment on that. So again, guys, I've got to say thank you for a fantastic race, and we will see everyone next week in Monte Carlo.